Welcome everyone! Dito na tayo ngayon sa ating Day 8 of our group station CFS SEA Masters Summer 2026. Kami ang inyong mga kasama dito on the panel desk. Mochi and Bipolar nga pala na kung saan tuloy-tuloy lang ang aksyon at tuloy-tuloy ang ating mga istorya. Kamusta ka naman, Bipolar?
It's been fun, no? It's still the same old background pero sa'yo nagbago naman. But it is gonna be one hell of a week na naman may kita natin dito, Mochi, kung saan painit ng painit yung ating laban. And dito na natin may kita na yung the shift in standings, kung saan na nga ba talaga dapat pumesto yung ating mga teams or where we will calibrate them in terms of firepower. Kasi ngayon, Mochi, parang first few weeks natin, nararamdaman natin, ang init ang laban, ang daming bagong kwento na parang pwede ibuga sa ating mga viewers. Pero ito, malapit na natin makita yung pinaka-peak form ng ating mga teams.
For sure. At I do think no na dito sa ating mga laban dapat lang na i-recall natin kung ano nga ba yung mga nangyari from last week because there has been numerous things that should be pointed out here. Siyempre, idagdag na natin dyan no, ang ating Rosy teams na talaga nga na mga pinakita nila that they are indeed improving. And that has been showed here against matches wherein they managed to reach ang ating 10-5 and 10-7 score. Not only na ito ay isa sa kanilang best map, port, they're also ensuring no, that they're polishing it and they're studying about it.
Yun ang ano, Mochi, looking at this matchup, it was, baka magugulat kayo if you weren't here last week na 12 points ang nag-garner ng ating players mula sa veteran up against matches sa team that we call basically the wall pagdating dito sa playoffs or even the group stage kasi nakikita natin yun 10-5 on sub-base and 10-7 on port, and alam naman natin yun, port is a map where veteran really does prevail and does a lot of their homework in, and this is basically the mainstay pagdating sa ating mga Rosé teams. But nakita mo yun, even in sub-base nahirapan ng ating matches, but in port they were also almost defeated, no, just from the sheer potential ng ating players mula kala AV9, kala Shock, kala Drones, kay Twintism of all players were really good. So hopefully hindi lang ito makita natin for these dudes pero mag-elevate palalo yung firepower nila.
Twintism specifically performed so well alongside the EV9 despite of all the pressure that they're suffering upon against matches, and again, veteran, keep doing you. So let us see ano naman ang susunod nating match dito. It has been Taring Bawi versus Virtus Pro. Well, if we earlier pointed out how veterans have been improving, things like Taring Bawi were the ones who are actually being demolished, no, as of the current time, no. This is quite of a welcome dito, no, trying to fight against the best dito sa Philippines.
I feel like the keyword dun sa sinabi mo, Mochi, no, welcome. Kasi this is just the first time na nakikita natin ang buong Taring Bawi in the entirety of Masters. And eto na, it was a quick one. Nakita natin dito yung Bib, Cetra, everyone from Virtus Pro really just enabled themselves to a point na parang hindi namin to papupuntuhin sa port. Pero they did get one round, pero parang, wait lang, VP tayo bakit natin bibigyan to ng chance na makapuntos pa sa mapa ng Ankara? Anong 50-50 na mapa? Anong BL side, GR side? Lahat kami kaya namin yan. And you can see, no, the improvements for Virtus Pro also showing up here with their set plays.
True. And again, no, Taring Bawi, I hope that they're okay so far after
Hopefully, yeah.
getting that quite of an experience here against Virtus Pro. But last but not the least, our ender for that time is this fight from Team Stallions and FERVID. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to panel for this one. Dadu's been able to take over, but it appears Bipolar that this is definitely jam-packed and there were a lot of eyebrows raised during this series.
Yeah, yung matchup natin dito, no, Mochi, it was a lot to digest. Coming in from sub-base wherein nabigyan nga dito ng ating STS ng hometown court advantage. Pero sabi ng FERVID, kaya namin yan eh. We're also a team that is capable of doing something, and since we know sub-base a lot, why not open it up? And nakita naman natin yun. It was basically there's some similar words here na kailangan ko sabihin na parang naguluhan tayo kasi parang how is this happening towards Stallions with a lineup that is so good and so fresh. Pero nakita naman natin yun, even if Kano was frying, talagang napapanalo yan ng FERVID. 8-10 score lang. Pagdating naman sa Ankara, it was a different side. Pero nung nag-overtime, di na talaga pinapunto sila ng STS because just like what Sneaky Frag has mentioned beforehand, na parang in terms of overtime, their win rate are gonna be impressive. At yun na nga, it was a big series last week.
Yep, and those big series also had big impacts dito no sa ating standings. Kaya naman it's just right for us to have quite of a refresher and see how it affected the overall rankings that have so far. Because there's been already the reappearance of Team Stallions alongside with Virtus Pro no, finally no na parang nanggaling sila from 6-7 but right now nasa second and third na sila right now. Comeback Friends still chilling dyan sa ating first rank. Unfortunately though, not Atras will be falling behind quite a bit. But again, it's just 2 matches lang naman ang kanilang napagdadaanan dito. But again, matches paunti-unti nilang pinagsusumikapan na umakyat dyan. Although again, one mistake will be ending their run. At idagdag pa natin yung run differential na sobrang risky talaga dito, Bipolar.
Yeah, especially with matches losing or winning up against veteran no, or the Rosetta teams na in a very close fashion, they'll have to they'll have to grind up in the next few weeks 10 times para makaabot dito sa ating 5-4-3 spot natin. But comeback friends, hopefully they retain that number 1 spot no, because this week would be one hell of a banger para sa ating mga teams, just because look at that Virtus Pro and Stallions trying to climb up in the standings.
True. And I think it's just right for us to also acknowledge ang ating mga top performers during that week, especially that D is now currently on our second spot here, followed by Aiden, Yecha, and Ninkyu, which are actually primary players to look out for na meron tayo dito from matches no. After lots of doubts, after lots of questions being asked as just performance been on the down low during our first the first part of our second week. No, talaga namang binawi niya yon. Ninkyu is still being Ninkyu after all of the very explosive executions na ginagawa niya at inaambag niya dito for the team.
Yeah, we might see some reoccurrence ng ating top performers every week na medyo maraming matches or at least one player always gonna be in the top 5 just because, just like what we said, kailangan nila mag-run up, kailangan nila pumasok, kailangan nila dito mag-dominate ng scene. And with Ninkyu and Yetcha having a good performance so far, hopefully it keeps on continuing. But yeah, CBN is gonna be still CBN on number 1. But D, I feel like he has a chance to possibly claim number 1 in the next week.
I won't be surprised as well, especially with how stable he is in terms of the plays na ginagawa niya ngayon and especially the performance. But now, first to watch out, I feel like the only person that we need to put our eyes on is si Bright. Let's acknowledge yung performance ni Bright dito. No, I know it's just a single match na kung saan naglaro siya, but it's nice na finally we saw Bright, their sixth man, actually performing, and the performance again, no, parang hindi talaga pang sixth man lang.
Yeah, well, last time na nakita natin to si Bright, it was up against the Rosetta team, but do not falter everybody. Bakit nga ba, why did Bright get this kind of stat line no, for us to watch him out in the next coming weeks or next coming games? Just because his map awareness is pretty much insane. One of the top tier right now sa ating tournament, just because paano nga pa siya nakakuha ng total of 24 kills? It was always flags, it was always lurks, it was always in front of your face as well. So Bright, amazing man. Despite this being one of your first matches lang or first few matches sa Pong Masters, you definitely gave up a very good show. But yeah, Yotib and Yobib and as well as D, etc. Alam na natin yan. These players will always be giving us a performance na talagang top tier.
Yeah, it's actually already quite of a constant no, nakikita natin yung mga mukha ng mga players natin from Team Stallions, Virtus Pro, and now FERVID, no? It's actually pretty fresh. And kahit na lagi natin binabanggit from time and time again how D has been able to perform so well, no? It's nice na we're seeing them more and more often. Pero here's a quick of a contrast, no? Ang ating player natin in subject, which is Yoteb, with the stats from his previous team no during Cardas and after joining Execration. Ano ba ang magkukuha nating key takeaways dito sa stats niya, Bipolar?
You know what, baka ipapansin dito ng ating mga viewers or ng buong community yung mga down red arrows natin, no? But please do think about this in this kind of sense. Yes, inong Kerdas, palaging kinakailangan si Yotib na mag-pop off. Palaging mag-clutch up ni Yotib in Kerdas form. But coming into execution, why is he below 0.1 in KD, kill per round is in terms of other stat lines as well? Well, hindi niya na kailangan dito mag-over-exert ng effort just because he is now in a form na pwede na siyang gumawa ng milagro without him overstepping more than he can. I would like to parang kung isipin mo, the recent changes sa FERVID, nung nandiyan na si Lance, we talked to him before na parang, napadali yung trabaho kasi nga meron na ako mga heavy fraggers. Meron na mag-step up na hindi natatakot. Well, that also applies towards UTIB. So, I guess, if you think about it, yes, hindi naman umangat dito yung statline ni UTIB, pero he's still the same UTIB as before. Even might be, nag-elevate pa nga dito yung lakas ni UTIB.
Yeah, couldn't agree more with what you had mentioned. I think there's a lot of merit that in terms of the statistics na meron tayo dito, no, some of that is majority being contributed by the teammates, no. Lesser responsibilities, lesser pressure, more avenue to just focus on sa kung ano ang role na naka-assign talaga sa kanya. So, right now, no, by the way, guys, we are going to also highlight some of the plays na meron tayo dito, no, from last week, and you guys may choose kung sino doon sa mga players na yon yung gusto nyo. And by that, you guys have the chance to win 100 e-coins. And all you have to do is to like and follow ang ating official Facebook page and as well as YouTube of CROSSFIRE Philippines. And be sure to share the play that you chose, may it be from Cetra, from D, check nyo na lang kung ano yung nandyan sa ating page. And ensure that it is shared publicly with the hashtags CFS Master Summer and hashtag Play of the Week. I do think, no, double check na lang din ang ating mechanics dyan. Meron naman tayong pub map or post specifically for this giveaway as well. And again, quick reminder, ilagay nyo rin sa inyong caption kung bakit yun yung play na dapat maging play of the week talaga, no? Bakit deserve nun na ma-recognize. And with that, may nagkan chance na manalo with 100 e-coins. So let us check out our schedule for today. Let us see who would be the teams who will be facing up against each other, because I do know that this day isn't for the weak.
Yeah, this day is for warriors and fighters, Mochi, because we have our first match here. It's gonna be FERVID versus Acceptance, wherein it also might just be a sniper battle, just because we'll be looking at our eyes upon Heck and how FERVID will try to dominate in these kinds of maps. I would be surprised kung makakita tayo ng port dito, especially these two teams know how to play it. But for Atrasan matches, this is again a testing for matches. Kung fluke nga lang ba nanalo last time, or is it gonna be around, or is it gonna be a journey ender na, no? And since this is just the third matchup dito na Atras, di pa natin nakikita yung full form nila. So let's see kung kaya na nga ba nila malabas yun up against matches. But of course, it is also another third match highlight of the day. It's gonna be Execution versus Comeback Friends. And I guess what? Mamaya pag-uusapan natin marami, kasi marami rin players yan na nagkasama na dati.
For sure, no? There's a lot of reunions happening later on, no? That we will be discussing more in particular as we head on to their particular match as well. So, again, first match natin for today, sisimulan nito ng FERVID and as well as Team Acceptance, wherein, again, Team Acceptance is still on the plan of proving themselves dito, no, para maka-advance sa ating playoffs. But FERVID, it appears that they've already been able to establish that, and they just have to continue what they got started.
Yeah, coming up to this point, no, parang Acceptance ngayon, marami na rin sila nag-garner points, marami na rin silang matchups na nakita natin from easy to medium into hard. Nakita na yan ng Acceptance, but let's talk about FERVID a little bit more here. FERVID has been phenomenal pagdating dito sa ating Masters, kung saan nakikita natin in the top echelon of standings in terms of player performances. May kita mo dyan A7J and D on that top spot, or even si Lance, no, kasi right now he's in a golden form kung saan he has 1.46 in KD, and again you have the brothers of D and as well as A7J na hindi mo talaga may kita na, yes, IGL si A7J, pero he's also one of those IGLs just like KLB, just like KLR, just like Vincent, na kayang pumatay every time despite him in a role that demands a lot. But Grace for second calling has also been helping a lot, no, pagdating dito sa FERVID, para lang makuha nila mismo yung bigger yung grand scheme of things. But MZ, man, who would have known that MZ right now would be in a good form kung saan malapit na siyang makakuha ng 1.00 KD. MZ, man, iba. Kapag hindi gumagana si D, hindi gumagana si Tracifer, MZ is always there to be the one head on first sa action, at hindi siya takot kahit ano pang team ilapag mo dito sa FERVID.
Yeah, we can definitely say na here for MZ is the player to rely on or shoulder to rely on
Oh,
if
yeah.
something is not entirely clicking for the team. And dagdag na rin natin siguro to Christopher from time and time again, not just the fact na he's been able to secure multiple titles, na nakakakuha siya ng mga MVPs natin, how he's been able to touch certain rounds that are seemingly impossible to actually make work. No, Christopher also shares some part in terms of shot calling, especially when it comes to mid rounds, no. So malalaki yung daring natin dito despite the fact na hindi natin masyado na highlight si MJ and si Christopher so far kasi what we have here for FERVID, it's always A7J, no, doing all of the power plays, but in fact, no, those won't be possible at all if Christopher and as well as MZ won't be present dito sa kanilang team. So just a quick recap sa kung anong meron dito sa ating schedule. We have 3 matches already of matches starting Bobby and as well as Comeback Friends where they managed to garner that win and just gave 1 map away from matches during their series. And right now we also have Team Stallions where they lost, but this is not just a loss, no, Bipolar. We witness what is the possibility, no, the what ifs, no,
Oh, yeah.
the thought of FERVID actually with the potential of actually winning this series, no? At idagdag na rin natin dyan siguro, pwede nating isingit yung mga hot takes ng ilan sa ating mga analysts nung nandun tayo sa ating podcast yesterday.
Yeah, oh my goodness. You have to check out the podcast no, na ginagawa dito ni Sneaky Frog, ni Ellen, as well as ni Salvatore para makakuha niyo in deep sites na
Right.
mga hindi pa natin nasasabi minsan dito sa ating broadcast. No? Check that out as well. So big shoutouts to them. But you know what, FERVID, parang naisip ko nga, Mochi, yes, baka sinasabi nyo na baka, natalo ng STS yung FERVID. But we do have to say, this parang practice form na yun ng FERVID versus STS, Mochi. So,
Yes.
if you think about it, it's also just a starting point. Hindi pa yun yung mismong end ng buong FERVID. It really is just parang magsisimula pa lang yung race na itong dalawang teams na to.
True. Couldn't agree more what you have mentioned, no? And that's just a testament of kung ano yung current na status ni FERVID right now. Paano pa in the near future, right? So now let's talk about team acceptance because we already know what this team is capable of. Specifically, heck, they have their IGL and as well as their sniper wherein all of the things na kaya niya ibigay dito sa team na to, lahat binubuhos niya na talaga, right? And we
Yeah.
also see some really good hero plays here from Silent and as well as Ajax staying actually as a backup role here, being able to supply that for the team in its own. But unfortunately, when it comes to the teams that are a tier higher than them, unfortunately, things become unbalanced, Bipolar.
Yeah, nagiging inconsistent yung ating mga players coming in from acceptance, but still, no, the firepower is there. The sheer talent na binibigay ng ating dalawang young guns coming in for acceptance, Dre and as well as Sting. Just look at the stat line itself, and it speaks so much to a point na nakakabingin na dito yung lakas ng ating dalawang players kapag ang acceptance ang naglalaro. So later on, pagdating dito ng FERVID matchup nila, kailangan natin abangan kung masya-shutdown nga ba si Sting, maggagana nga ba dito si Dre, or will they be relying on Heck for getting these like opening picks sa ating mga early rounds. Kasi last time na nakita natin dito ang acceptance having a rough time, it was always Heck, it was always Silent, trying to come back with the OG mindset and with the veteran mindset na parang, uy guys, we're still a powerful team, kailangan lang natin bumawi, but we only have a little bit of energy to do that. Kailangan pa rin dito gumana ni Ting, kailangan pa rin gumana dito ni Dre. So all ups to them, but again, acceptance is acceptance. So FERVID needs to accept that they have a tough fight ngayon.
Yeah, for sure. Although, again, it would matter a lot, no? Yung mga first few rounds dito ng team acceptance, that would be their deal breaker. Pero ito ang ating quick schedule and summary sa mga tinapatan ng team acceptance natin so far. We have a good balance then in terms of loss and wins, no? Balance as it should be. 3-3, wherein they lost against the VP, Atras, and as well as Comeback Friends, which is understandable. And they also won against matches starting Bobby and as well as Veteran, which is also understandable here, Bipolar. I feel like the biggest challenge talaga nila dito, no, is itong tatlong susunod na laban
Yes.
nila, which is yung today, yung FERVID, followed by Execration and as well as Team Stallions.
Yeah, ito na yung major exam ng acceptance, no? Parang midterms pa lang tong first natin, finals, tapos ito na mismo yung parang licensure exam ng ating players mula sa acceptance. These last 3 fights
Exactly.
mean a lot, and hopefully they win a couple of that kasi if not, well, just like Matt just know, their run in terms of Master will end here sa group stage. But big eyes to them kasi palagi naman natin nakikita acceptance at fighting all throughout sa ating mga matches.
True. And right now, let us talk about kung sino nga ba yung mga players na pagtatapatin natin dito, no, for each team and how we can actually contrast them in terms of the performance. Both young guns, both with pretty much nakikisabay sa flow na power at talima dito, Bipolar. We have D and as well as T.
Yeah, in a world of veterans and as well as in a world of tenured players sa Masters, you have D and Ting trying to show that the olds are now out of the game. The new guns are gonna be dominating the scene, no? You have D and Ting in a great form kung saan may kita mo in terms of their stats, not just here sa nakita nyo, but there are basically more than a top 50, I believe, in terms of entire performance ng ating mga players, no? So, big eyes on these two. Ang pinagkaiba lang talaga nito is Ting is not a headshot machine. D is, pero Ting has that different flavor na, uy, bakit nandiyan na si Ting? Bakit nakagawa na agad siya ng big plays kahit na hindi namin siya nakita? Well, he is a backup player nonetheless. Kahit na attacker yung role niya dito, he still has that kind of prowess kahit na sa magkaiba sila ng role. So, big eyes on those two.
And I feel like that is also quite for the great contrast, no? Di talagang aasahan mo siya or talagang i-expect mo, no, that he would be doing something na nakakagulagulantang, no, for the team. But in contrast, Ting is more of a silent performer here.
Yes.
Hindi mo naakala meron na pala talaga siyang naiaambag dito sa team before you even know it. And after they secure the round. Pero let us now talk about our map veto here. What would be the maps here wherein FERVID or Acceptance will be having that advantage. It seems like we will kick it off with the map of Subbase. Susundan ito na ng Ankara, and we have Eagle Eye as our decider here, Bipolar.
Okay, I like na dinudge dito ng Acceptance yung entirety of port na pinili na lang dito yung Ankara just because they can easily penetrate itong hotel natin and even what do you call this? Yung ating A side kapag nasa BL side sila, but they will start on the GR side. But again, let's address the fact, no, na nasa Subbase agad dito yung first map natin. And FERVID has been so good in this map. Yes, they lost last time sa STS. Pero Acceptance, they need to have a great GR side here. And dahil dito sila magsisimula, they need to expect na second mid is gonna be the pressure na ginagawa ng FERVID dito. We saw multiple times from the recent matches ng FERVID na si Lance ang gagawa ng entryway sa second mid. Meanwhile, A7J and as well as itong si MC gagawa ng gulo on the luwag side or even Dracifer, no? That mid contention, itong second mid contention as well as itong control room natin will be the peak of bloodbath, will be the battlefield ng dalawang teams na to. And if Heck doesn't do a lot of powers there, or if hindi niya masya-shutdown dito yung entryway ng BL side ng FERVID, mahihirapan sila doon. But Eagle Eye, I feel like it almost gonna be a 60-40 split, Mochi. So parang, let's just say it's a 50-50 pag umabot tayo ng decider.
True. And I feel like what's also worth noting din dito, no, sa mapa ng Subbase, Team Acceptance would probably be so prone being overpowered here by FERVID. So I feel like they should be a bit on the guard, especially in the first few rounds na magkakaroon tayo dito, no, for Subbase. But again, I feel like it's also time for us to reveal our predictions, especially that this is gonna be all across the board in favor for FERVID. But for Sticky Frog, he has the thought that there might be a map being garnered dito, no, ng Team Acceptance. But I feel like there's already quite a fun, obvious reasoning dito, no, Bipolar, just backed by recent history and as well as data na meron tayo dito acquired from our teams and who is much more well-rounded, no, in comparison to each other. Well, FERVID talaga ang may kalamangan doon.
I mean, I don't doubt naman dito na makakakuha yung map ng ating makakuha ng map yung ating Acceptance, no. I was thinking nga na baka pwede nga itong 2-1 just like Sticky, pero kasi it's FERVID, no. Parang simula pala na match sila, pasabog na, no. But yeah, big eye or at least bigger weight para dito sa ating Acceptance. So hopefully they are much ready, lalo na't nagbubuhat naman dito sa Hekpalay.
At ready na rin ba kayo malaban kung sino nga ba ang nasa top 1 ng ating prediction rankings right now? Well, check natin dyan sa ating gilid. We have, dito pala, Oh!
Mochi, you're there!
Wait, nagulat
Mochi, you're
ako.
there!
Wait, nagulat ako. Parang di ko na-expect yun.
Congrats,
But we have top 1
Moch.
here. We have Ramon. Thank you. Congrats din, Polar EP 3 and 5 year dito, no? 73.80% for Ramon, which is extremely high. We also have top 2 and top 4 here for Salvatore and as well as Sneaky Frog. And the Polar and I are here. Finally.
Yeah.
Yippee. Congrats
Mochi,
to us, I guess.
let's not talk about top 1, top 2, top 4. It's only us. And kami naman palagi
It's only
nakakasama. No?
us.
So, it's just a good trip. Pero Ramona, he's been doing his research. He's been doing his bond reviews. So,
Doing
I feel like
well.
Ramon needs to tell us his secrets na Mochi para umangat-angat naman yung panel desk natin.
What if let's make this us against Salvatore and Sneaky Frog? Huh? I think that's also a really good idea. But let us check out what our community has to say about this specific matchup that we have right now here as well. We have FERVID and as well as Acceptance, wherein 70% is gearing towards FERVID winning against Acceptance na 30% lamang. Which is, again, understandable, no? Given na yan ng mga historia na meron tayo dito sa parehong teams natin.
Yeah, I mean, this is a big fight for Acceptance, especially if they can prove that they can beat FERVID kahit 2-0 pa yan, kahit 2-1 pa yan in favor of Acceptance. That just means they're just gonna be a better team going into the next couple of matches pagdating dito sa group stage. And if you saw yung journey dito ng Acceptance, paunti na ng paunti yung matches nila. So this is still a starting point kapag nakalaban nila yung mga top 1 and top 2 teams natin. But for FERVID, again, despite the community having their backs, kailangan pa rin nila dito mag-perform in a S-tier kind of level because Acceptance is no joke of a team kahit na marami dito nagto 2-0 or 2-1.
Definitely. And just right now, again, wala tayong i-underestimate dito. But
Of
right
course.
now, we are not gonna be relying on estimations, but just mere facts and observations. Let us welcome ang ating mga casters dito sa ating desk right now in order na talakayin natin no, kung ano nga ba yung mga puntos na kailangan nating ilapag para dito sa dalawang teams natin. Let us welcome Sneaky Frog and as well as Salvatore. Hi guys, welcome. Good afternoon. And Sneaky Frog, it seems like you're having quite a
Smile,
good
boys.
start of your day
Smile.
so far. Do you have any insights dito sa particular matchup natin, which is FERVID versus Team Acceptance?
Well, natutuwa ako na nakabalik na ako sa top 4 where I belong dun sa
Nice.
prediction ranking natin. And honestly, ayun nga, no, I'm trying to make a shoot for that number 1. And kaya Ramon, watch out. Pero yun nga, no, for the FERVID Team Acceptance series, I was actually really hoping na may specific na map na mapipili dito. That's why I did go for the 2-1 at nakuha ko yung mapa na yun, Mochi. Subbase making an appearance dito sa series na to wasn't really a surprise in all honesty kasi knowing naman yung good maps dito ng FERVID, they obviously beat them on subbase, no? Or beat Stallions on subbase dun sa kanilang respective na series. But I am also wanting to consult yung nangyari dito sa week number 1 where Team Acceptance went on a kind of a streak pagdating nga dito sa subbase, no? They went 10-8 up against MJ dito sa week number 1 and they also went neck and neck up against itong CBF, no, which I would think na is the team that is closest dito sa ating FERVID at this very moment in terms of, you know, stylistically and everything. However, yun nga, no, I still am banking dito sa FERVID considering na yun nga, overall yung form nila mas naging solid, no, for the past few weeks. And para sa Team Acceptance, it's kind of been a roller coaster. You know, 1 week you are going neck and neck up against matches, and then the other week na 2-0 ka dito nakatras, you know, 10-4 and 10-2. So yun nga, no, Acceptance is you can't, it really is a gamble every time na papasok sila dito sa mapa natin. And if you are gonna predict them, para you really, you know, do not know what's gonna happen kasi di mo alam kung anong form yung ilalagay nila today. But if we see the exact form na nakita natin from Silent and Heck, and Dre starts to step up, and you know, Ting being the head-to-head player, ayun nga, maybe we expect something galing dito sa Acceptance.
Exactly. I feel like that just further amplifies yung puntos na lalapag din namin ni Bipolar dito kanina, no? We're in parang 50-50, masyadong balance ng ating standings, or rather yung history natin dito for Team Acceptance, which makes it a bit more harder to lean towards them dito na katapat nila ngayon ang FERVID. But how about you, Salvatore? Good afternoon. Ano naman ang iyong insights dito sa tapatan natin ngayon?
Good afternoon din sa ating panel, no? Honestly, yung bigat ng mga pangalan ng mga teams, parang nawala na kagad yung novelty niya ever since Execration and as well as FERVID na nakikipagdikdikan talaga no? And I kinda love the gamble na meron nga tayo na FERVID is also a team na pwede nga rin talagang mapatalsik ng acceptance considering the names na meron talaga ang FERVID. And I kinda like the detail na etong dalawang teams na to may mga pinagkuhaan silang momentum definitely no, from the acceptance win against matches, so, and especially dun sa mahaba-habang series nila with a veteran itong FERVID. Grabe naman yung galit nga nila from their tough loss against Team Stallions, at alam mo talagang jet plane to papuntang kalangitan for both FERVID and acceptance in order for to get that W. No? At isa sa magandang benchmark talaga is definitely Subbase. At buti na nga lang inopen nga to ng both acceptance and FERVID. That's why we're going there right now. In terms of gameplay, no, parang hindi na nga natin makikita yung okay, dahil FERVID sila ang mananalo. It's definitely an even game. At ayan ang nirerespeto ko sa acceptance. They still have the gameplay enough para masabi natin contender pa rin sila. But let's wait and see. Again, lahat ng matches talaga ng acceptance is definitely a benchmark or just a preview kung gaano nga ba talaga sila ka-solid. So, good luck to both teams.
And again, no, parang lalo lang na-solidify yung fact na despite seeing all of these potentials, lahat ng mga strengths na nakita natin sa ating mga teams, no, stability is yung topmost priority natin dito, especially na hindi biro yung mga schedules din natin dito, and as well as every single one of them has a chance na makatapat kahit sino man yung mga teams na meron tayo dito sa ating group stage. And I guess it's just right to also lay down ang ating mga pointers dito for either of our teams, but let us start it with FERVID's D. That Demon Slayer, ika nga nila, no? Because currently, he already racked up 102 headshot kills out of 143. So, I think it's just right that I get my calculator, pero you can just discuss that muna ngayon, Bipolar.
I mean, D has been in the top 10 of our basically in our headshot percentage, no, pagdating dito sa ating mga players in Masters. And I don't necessarily, I cannot really say any kind of weakness mula dito kay D Parang ang sinasabi lang dito ni Christopher and A7J, D, go kill, and then we will come back towards whatever you got in those kinds of engagements, no. And yung yung kakaiba kay kay D na parang kahit sino itapat mo sa kanya na kahit anong itapat mo sa kanya, it's always gonna be an instant headshot despite Kano on the other side, kahit na nandito si Obi on the other side. Parang in a way, may point in time na tayo na aangat si D na pwede na siya maging number 1 headshotter sa buong CROSSFIRE Masters natin, or even kahit sa anong tournament natin. So yeah, FERVID having this kind of performer, well, I cannot doubt na FERVID can easily take the number 1 or number 2 spot pagdating sa pinakadulo ng ating standings.
True. And
I feel
biro
like,
mo, no,
sorry to
71
interrupt, no. I feel like one of the main
Yeah,
reasons
go.
why is MZ. I feel like MZ is not getting enough credit dito sa team na to.
Yeah,
Na
nabibigyan niya
that's why
space,
D has
no?
had like an uptick dito sa ating dito sa ating team. No, I have a feeling na just MZ kind of going in. I know he's going like 6 and 16 no from time to time, pero nababawi naman yan with D's fragging in return. So I feel like MZ, you kinda get a bit of credit here dito sa success dito ni D, and I feel like this is the right addition to do so.
I would like to add a little bit more point, no? I feel like some people would say na kapag nakalaban na, pag yung favorite team na nakalaban na dito for FERVID, na they will want to have na magka-bad game dito si D. I feel like that's far from reality, man. Na never magkaka-bad game dito si D. I don't wanna jinx it,
Yeah.
pero this guy, man, can never be in a bad performance. D is such a raw talent na in this kind of young age, na you have to look out for him every time. And I feel like Acceptance doesn't even have any kind of players na ma-shutdown dito si D. So yeah, let's see kung papalag pa rin dito si D.
But really, there's some people who are wishing that he would perform bad. That's interesting and weird. Pero, grabe, no? Kinumpute ko lang din kung ano nga ba yung totality na tong stats na nandyan sa baba right now. It is 71.33%, guys. Yung ating stats ngayon, KD, with the headshot rate, which is insane.
Puta,
But let's now head on to our next point, which is FERVID and Acceptance looking to vie for a better playoff spot. Because, of course, no, yun yung inaasam-asam natin dito. FERVID, baka nga mataas pa nga yung chance, no, na parang ang maging point natin dito is yung fact na magkaroon sila ng mas mabilis na standing, parang yung pagkakatalunan dito is seeding. But let's see, is this actually a mismatch though? Especially dito muna tayo, no, in a micro level sa mapa ng Subbase, Nikki Frog.
I don't think it's as big of a mismatch as people think, no. I feel like ayun nga, we have to, point out the obvious, no. Ayoko naman sabihin na just because you're from Cebu, you can play sub-base. We already saw what happened dun sa isang araw natin. Obviously, ayun nga, I feel like both of these teams, meron silang tamang experience dito sa mapa na to, and that's kind of the obvious thing to point out. But at the same time, I feel like yung macro ng FERVID has got to be one of the most annoying pagdating sa mapa na to. And Acceptance really has to kind of control themselves dito sa mapa na to kasi yun nga, no, FERVID, they're gonna poke and prod, biglang may lalabas dito sa woods pero bigla palang babalik dito sa outer, tapos may lalabas ng passage, tapos biglang lalabas pala, hindi pa pala mag-comment. All of a sudden, it's an A-take at si A7J nasa vent. So, that's the chaoticness na kailangan mong isipin, no, kung kayo yung nasa side ng Acceptance kasi ayun nga, as much as I would love to say na ayun nga, no, Heck is amazing at sniping dito sa mapa na to, and at the same time Silent does a really good job of finding flanks, no, pero ayun nga, FERVID, they are gonna be baiting those kinds of moves as nakita natin dun sa STS na series where they were also trying to punish moves instead of over-aggression dito na nagti-3-man swing sila ng players sa isang side ng mapa just to kind of get them off of the server, no. And I would want to see yung attempt dito ng Acceptance trying to counter that kind of play.
Yeah, that's true, no? Kanya-kanyang diskarte kung paano nila pipilayan itong kanilang opposition. And now, let us hold on to this point wherein, since nabanggit mo na rin yung pangalan ni Heck dito, do you think that Heck can keep up with Lance Salvatore, especially with the current status na meron sila ngayon as a team?
Well, the numbers do prove it, no? Pero kung ako naman tatanungin mo kasi, Lance had a pretty hard time sa kanyang mga competition for the past 2 weeks. Kumpara mo naman dito kay Heck, who already had matches up against Orosea teams and as well as that standout performance laban nga sa matches, no? So to answer the question, it will absolutely depend on the backup players, no? Merong Heck and Silent, merong MZ, and as well as kay Lance. Depende na nga lang kung paano nga nila i-open up yun. Pero for an absolute question, feeling ko talaga, man, we have to forget no? Kailangan na natin kalimutan ang mga nangyari noong nakaraan. We have to embrace the present. That being si Lance, no? So I feel like there's going to be more leniency sa FERVID na makuha talaga yung success rate mula kay Lance, considering na gaano nga ba talaga siya ka-high fragger, no? So very much debatable kung sino nga ba talaga yung mas effective in terms of like delivering yung kalakasan nga nila for very crucial rounds. Pero kasi in terms of clutches, feeling ko makikita mo talaga si Lance on the better end, at makakita pa tayo ng mas magandang resulta as Lance has been proving us, literally everyone na nanonood, na Lance is currently one of the best snipers dito sa ating tournament.
Couldn't agree more what you have mentioned, no? Healing even way back, no? Na talagang naaalala pa natin, baka nag-iipon pa lang siya ng confidence, ng kumpiyansa, pero right now, nandiyan na siya. And I guess it's just right, no? Simulan na natin ang laban. Let us set up ang ating arena and let's hand it over para sa ating casters, Diggy Frog and as well as Salvatore. Retrakan na!
Battle lines have been set sa kanya-kanya mga fortress dito lang sa ating Cebuano Derby as we head into sub-base. Akalain mo nga naman, Sneaky, to open things up dito sa ating araw ng Huwebes. We have two Cebuanos battling it out in a map na all too familiar para nga sa kanilang dalawa. Na kahit tayong dalawa, Sneaky, di rin talaga natin maturo sino nga ba talaga yung mas nakakalamang, because this is literally their own playing ground.
Yeah, man, you also had the fair point, no, about yung backup players and the snipers for the past few times. I feel like these snipers, especially as of recent, na mas sumasama na dito sa mga rifles, they have become kind of like traders now dito sa mapa natin where papasok dito yung entry and then Lance is gonna be right behind itong mga players natin. And I've seen that a lot dito sa FERVID, no, considering yung kanilang pagka-mix and match ng kanilang mga strategies from time to time. Pero I feel like para sa Acceptance, so the expectations already there na si Heck nakahawak dito sa Shutter and or sa CR at the same time. And FERVID is gonna be trying to attack that, no, in my opinion. Baka makakita natin madalas na dumaan ito si A7J sa vents or maybe papuntang second mid. I feel like yung objective siguro ng FERVID is to try and poke and prod sa simula ng round and maybe cut off a rotation sa gitna nga nito, no. So would be interesting to see kung paano i-counter dito ni Acceptance kasi not gonna lie, yung last na panalo nila dito sa mapa na to, I think Heck was just peak in second mid and he was just hitting pare.
No? Makikita naman natin maya-maya kung ano nga ba yung magiging turnout nun. Considering na medyo meron tayong marginal returns pagdating sa mga performances. Let's take a listen dito sa ating call.
CR lang isa. Ayun spot dito. Bingo na.
Panting ko.
Naka-third.
Gate.
Kaya.
Try. Side. Usa. Hop na. Easy.
Uy, nila sneaky, no? Alam nila kagad na merong nasa gate. Pero pinuntayan na kagad to ng FERVID as they went into luwag. A7J, good pick sa may window. It's now a quick 4v3.
Yun nga, MZ sa loob ng CR dito. Actually, on the outside, getting silent na nasa CR at this very moment. Acceptance. Ito yung sinasabi ko, Salvatore, the cut off on the rotation. A7J spotted though on the outside.
Nice clear.
Sayang yung tago na yun, pare. That could have netted him 2 kills. Pero at the end of the day, it's still FERVID. With the C4 plant, MZ and Lance, the entry and the sniper para nga dito sa kanilang team, Dre. And as well as itong si Ting. Ting has been pretty clutch recently, no? So posible to, pare.
Definitely possible, no? Considering na ang lakas lang naman talaga ng FERVID dito, no, is definitely from Lance hitting that huge shot. Wala dito si Sikip. Sika medyo off position dito si Dre. Depende na nga lang kung makakalap pa si Dre, and already had the formula para makapasok kahit half-blinded nga siya. Gonna get the headshot. MZ playing time pero hindi papabor sa kanya hanggang di pa siya nakakuha nga ng kill. 1v2 now. Ting getting some space. Spray down. Wala dito sa AK-47. 5 seconds left on the clock. Saktong-sakto lang. 4 segundo para sa Acceptance retake. That's all they need. As Acceptance gets that amazing round start.
Yan ang gusto ko makita, man. Just coming back into yung ating Thursday afternoon games. Got our first dead round in the second round ng ating laruan. So Acceptance, obviously, with the first round, no, pare, napakagandang retake from the two players of Dre and Ting here. And I like yung patience na display doon ng Acceptance, no, to kind of just wait out itong CR natin, wait out the smokes and kind of, play with their auto nades instead na papasok sila or lulusob sila dito sa loob ng site and kind of just dying, no? So, very smart plays coming in galing dito sa side ng Acceptance. And at the same time, para dito sa FERVID, no? Kung di lang naspatan dito si A7J, pare, pakaramdam ko, that would have been a dub.
Yeah. Parang no? Parang di ko alam anong information yun, Sticks. Pero ang ganda ng pagkaka-clearing as if na parang alam niya talaga kung nasaan si A7J. Which is kinda nice na naisip ng Acceptance na it's not just going to be a stack para sa FERVID sa loob ng site. They really want to get as much space as possible from the layers na meron nga talaga sa mapag. Yun, Dracifer! Amazing double kill from his headshots. Pero gagawa nga din ng milagro dito. Hopefully ang Acceptance to recover some fallen comrades. Pero di na nga sila papayagan ng FERVID as they make it a 4v1. Heck now, trying to do some work pero kulang-kulang pa sa dami ng armas na dala ng FERVID. And they convert the dead round. Grabe nga naman FERVID with a huge push dun sa may truck.
Yun nga, men. Dire-diretso lang yung Acceptance dito sa MR. Pero FERVID playing it smart. They weren't fully challenging itong Acceptance natin, especially in the MR dito sa Lababo. You do have the slight advantage, no? Especially pag maganda yung spawn nyo. Pero grabe yung kalat dun ng FERVID, no? As soon as they realize na, okay, may 4 na nagpo-push dito sa MR, Dracifer, pumunta ka dito ng fork, may babantay dito ng passage para sa'yo, and just try to tap heads from outside angles. So, very nice clear para dito sa FERVID. And yun yata yung attempt dito, no, Salvatore, to throw a curveball na medyo maaga-aga dito sa laruan natin from the side of Acceptance. And you can't really blame them for doing that.
Nice call actually. Para i-testing ng FERVID. Okay, we can definitely do ulit itong passage pati MR. Then again, it's always a coin flip pero sa merong macro ang FERVID, usually it always goes to the better end of the stick. Nga lang, no, MZ, huge contest dito lang sa ating second mid pero Ajax, good hold, 50 HP na nga lang siya. Tingnan natin kung makakatutok na ba siya ng maayos. A7J now priming himself pero that one slight hint of hesitation. Baka nga magkaroon sila ng clue na nilalaro lang ng FERVID ang second mid. Ayun na nga, good pick para kay A7J to avenge MZ. Iwan pa rin ang C4 Lance now. Anti-flank, hindi niya nagagawa ng maayos at nahuli nga siya ni Silen. Quick 3v4 here inside of second mid. FERVID. Alam naman natin na usually ina-entry nga nila pero ngayon pre parang nangihinayang sila.
Yun nga, Dracifer trying to send it dito sa Vents, having no idea na naandun si Hecty. Will be getting silent. And onting pagkakamali from the side of FERVID and all of a sudden it all crumbles, no? And I was expecting na mapapunish nila yung nagawa dito ni Ajax dito sa second mid considering na, it was a 5 versus 4 and sobrang out of position niya dito sa mapa natin. But really good on silent, no? Na as soon as nahulog dito si Ajax, nag-push siya dito ng woods para may additional pressure at hindi sila mawala ng spot dito. Problema nga lang, A7J harap-harapan dito sa kalaban. Ting will be going down. He needs a one tap and that he gets! Heck na lang! USP sa sala, pero yung TRG makakatira ba? A7J tamang upo lang at sakto ang kanyang ulo sa box. Heck, aakyat at bababa agad dito pare. FERVID with the second round and a good surround dito sa A-side pare.
Yeah. Grabe no, like FERVID despite the numerous picks na kinuha ng acceptance, A7J, yung paghawak niya ng CR paid off nicely, no? Lance!
So
Grabe nga naman yon. Paano nga nangyari yon? Silent now getting the kill. As he take down the captain of FERVID. I'm gonna honestly say na that is honestly a good pick para sa side ng acceptance. They need to convert this round considering na wala na nga silang pangmalayo ang labanan. May nakapasok nga ng vent sting. Good clear. They find the lurker. That is MZ. A7J. Can they convert another 2v4 sneaky? Pero medyo alanganin nga. Silent now clearing. And they get the shot in over to A7J. Silent. Nabuhay pa rin kahit 1 HP na nga. It's all duels para sa acceptance. Look at the presence of mind to clear the angles. At nakita mo acceptance. Ang ganda ng payout.
Yeah, and yun yung benefit of having Silent on your team, especially pag mainit siya dito sa mapa natin. Him being the main A player, alam niya, parang nararamdaman niya kung kailangan niya mag-push ng woods o hindi, and when to put additional pressure sa backline ng mga players dito on the side of FERVID. And ang ganda ng synergy niya with itong si Ajax pare. Kasi si Ajax, I feel like they're taking turns na nagpo-poke and prod dito sa woods para aningin itong FERVID. And kung ganyan yung sistema nila pare dito sa A-side, and yun nga, FERVID might have to get some additional steps bago sila makakuha ng side dito pare. Kasi ayun nga, kailangan mo nila hanapin si Silent dito.
Kagandahan talaga doon, no? Acceptance. Parang hindi sila tumigil sa pagkuha talaga ng space, knowing na it's usually the riskiest way para makakuha ng round. Pero kasi, you can never go wrong with the acceptance players eh. Una sa lahat, Dre. Amazing shooter eh. No? Ajax, man, kanina pa ito watama. And Silent, na parang siya yung nagiging mediator eh. No? Kung may mapipilas, maaasahan mo si Silent na kunin nga yun. FERVID, a split na ngayon pa lang natin makikita mula ka sa kanila after entering a site. Nasami puwersa nga talaga sila na parang Gundam lang din talaga pre. Eto na ka. FERVID now going for MRN as well as passage pero nakapag-set up ng sandwich ang acceptance at napakasarap naman ang palaman na to. FERVID clearly out of the picture pero teka lang D. Makuha niya ba yung pick na to? Heck, amazing quick scope at nawalang bisa ang adjustment ng FERVID sa kanilang entry ngayon sa loob ng B. Silent, hinahanap na nga ang kalaban at si MZ. Ligaw na ligaw sa sarili niyang pagtanim. Acceptance. Binabawi na nga lahat pre, 3-2.
Yeah, I think laking benefit rin no, yung nasa perma-vents lang tong si Heck kasi meron siyang option na pwede siya mag-drop sa likod papuntang passage or drop papuntang second mid depende kung anong parte ng mapa na kailangan ng suporta dito. But at the same time, ayun nga, no, it's really good distractions from the side of Team Acceptance. Granted na maganda yung plano dito ng FERVID. Papasok sila sa passage and they're gonna clear every single player there. Eh, ayun lang. May onting backup plan pala ang ating Acceptance team. And even on that retake pa rin, napakaganda ng kanilang synergy. But having Heck online so early, no? Dito sa Acceptance ay napakagandang news yan, pare. That means may tatapat dito kay Lons and he's not gonna get, you know, as free of a game as before, pare.
Robin? Those calls na nagmamatter para sa Acceptance na they struggled with the mid-rounds during Impact and Swiss. Pero it took 3 weeks of regulation dito sa groups para makita na nga natin ang pinakamalaking adjustment so far sa loob ng kanilang sub-base gameplay. Ito nga pala yung sub-base na tinalo nga nila ang matches considered one of the best. Pero Acceptance clearly the challenges in the early round pero mga nagiging 50-50 nga talaga and so far they got the bad side of the coin. FERVID puro nga sila pangaaning pero itong Acceptance di nga sila kumagat which is a very good detail with the exception talaga ni Ajax. Another split entry na naman Sticky.
Yun nga, entry on the side trade din dito sa mid-wall. Heck nasa loob ng DR. Napainom, napatira rin dito pare. MZ is gonna go down to the USP. Napakabilis galing kay Heck at napaka-precise as well. Headshot para sa kanya pero si Silent also just as deadly. Finally taking out itong si Lons as D takes out his teammate. Pero head-to-head kumbaga hinihingi natin pare and D really good with those headshots.
Grabe men, cranium to cranium dapat ang palitan nyo yun pero Acceptance settled dito sa ating torso at braso. Silent really wanted the spray. MD di mo masasabing miraculously. Alam naman natin kung ano talaga yung capability ng bata na to, eh, no? And considering na laking harang ni Silent doon sa shatter, eh, no? May advantage nga siya doon. Napatagos pa nga ni Dion. And now Acceptance, clearly the 1v1s. Parang medyo mahirap at medyo malabo pag na-convert nga nila yun. So FERVID, should they be forcing 1v1s? Feeling ko kailangan lang talaga nila linisin yung mga entries nila. Kasi parang alam mo yun, that one slight hint na kung nasaan si Hek, naaaning kagad sila, natatakot, di mo lang kung magagaling ng Vince o magagaling ng DR, kino-contest ba nila yung second mid. Feeling ko yun yung nagpapa-hesitate dito sa FERVID. You know? Nakukuha nga nila yung mga, yung mga primary kills. Pero kasi may mga mini-min-max nila na okay, ito lang yung minimum space na makukuha natin, tas ito lang yung maximum kills na makukuha natin. Definitely from that split wala sa MR at Passage. Kailangan nila eksperimentohan, no, FERVID, with some adjustments right now na hindi umubra the first time. Naging 1v1, which is a bad sign here for FERVID, na hindi nga nagiging maganda entries nga nila. Probably a rush would be a good formula para sa FERVID.
Yeah, A-side looking likely. Second mid, kalat na kayo mga players natin. Ting will be transitioning within. Dito sa Vince, pero A7J naglalakad. And it just so happens na katawan mo patatamaan na doon dito sa Vince. And Lons will be getting silent as well. 3 versus 3, pero di pa tapos dito si Tracifer. Sa loob ng A-side, na-clear na siya ng dalawa. Meron pang dalawa na paparating. Dito sa luwag natin, Dre and Ting. Getting the headshot finally. Meron ng onting space dito sa luwag. MZ, hinarap niya na nga dito sa metal box. Si Dre at si Ting. That's gonna be another one para kay Dre. At si Ting mahuhulog na lang sa crosshair ni Dre. 18 seconds is plenty of time para makakuha ng defuse. And another retake para sa Acceptance. Napakaganda ng reaction nila dun, no, Salvatore, with the Vents climb galing kay Ting. And at the same time, them just leaving alone itong second mid natin. No? Sinulo na lang nila, men.
Second time in this series, no, Sneaky, no, Acceptance really showing na kung sa lahat meron silang strong side, so kailangan respetuhin yun ng FERVID. Pangalawa, the Vince, pre, na dapat blacklist ang umaabuso nito. Pero GR, kitang-kita mo kung paano na ma-maximize to ni Hek, and as well as si Ting. The retake is so beautiful, pre. Parang pwedeng may lumabas na luha sa mata ng kahit na sinong nanonood. Because it was just beautifully executed wala sa kills pa lang ni Hek. And definitely yung presence ni Dre para makabalik nga siya dito sa ating laro. You know, started off slow, pero nakita mo nga naman na old habits don't die talaga. He's still gunning for the headshots kahit gaano pa kahirap yung angle. And now Acceptance clearly respecting right now na FERVID anytime soon pwede nga sila mag-rush, still playing inside of the sights ang Acceptance.
Yan, napansin ko nga, Salvi, FERVID are kinda VPing it dito sa subbase. You know what I mean? Yung testing sila ng onti, pare. And then as soon as they get an inch of information, dun sila a-action agad. Pero Ting will be catching Lance na gusto lang mag-smoke dito sa shutter. Dre, napakaganda ng kanyang hold dito sa LR and will be getting a double kill. Tracifer, hindi man lang nakadaan. Silent, nagwawala na sa smoke. And MZ will be trying triple kill para sa kanya pero nawalan na ng bala. Oh my goodness me. Acceptance. Nga yung sinasabi ko dito, Salvi. I was just about to say, feeling ko, FERVID gusto nilang labanan sa loob ng site with their quote-unquote superior team fighting, pare. Pero tinatapatan nandito ng Acceptance with their own kinda early peaks. Pero Silent's down.
Silent down, 4v5. Ito nga pala yung side na nahihirapan ng FERVID i-close out ang laban nga nila against Stallions, no? And it's showing right now, there be a lead somewhere. Kailangan na lang i-drawing to ng maayos in order for them to get a good execute. Hindi na umubra ngayon para sa side ng Acceptance. Yung papucho-pucho nga nilang pagtingin sa loob ng MR. Dre, another good start para sa Acceptance dueling. Pero daw, Hek, hinahanap na nga ang kontrata na buhay dito ni MZ para mapirmahan na Acceptance, declaring the lead sa first half pa lang, and FERVID with the struggles.
Yun nga, men. And a really nice job para sa Acceptance, especially para dito kay Hek at Silent, no? Isa na namang week na makikita natin na, you know, pamalakasan yung kanilang crossfire na nilalagay nila dito sa mapa, especially on the map like Subbase, right? We low-key expected this, Salvatore. We already saw this dun sa overtime up against CBF. We already saw this with the win up against itong matches. Now, we know what the strength looks like para sa Acceptance. Pero hindi ko in-expect na ganun na way na matatalo tong FERVID, pare. Dun sila sa site na tatalo, kumbaga. And ayun nga, I feel like even FERVID is surprised na ganito kaganda yung fighting ng FERVID. Especially galing dito kay Silent, who's been absolutely rabid dito sa mapa natin. And you would also love to give compliments dito kay Ajax na he's literally the only guy going aggressive sa buong team dito ng Acceptance in terms of yung kanilang woods control, and feeling ko naaaning doon yung Fervid bago pa sila makakapasok ng second mid. Low HP na dito si MZ, low HP na dito si D, and they do a really good job between these wooden doors, pare.
And hindi ko lang alam kung ako, pero parang nakukulangan ako sa util ng Fervid. Like, they have smokes, they have flashes, pero parang wala akong nakikitang nades na pang-clear na mga malalakas na angles sa pwedeng kunin na Acceptance in the first half. Okay, boxes, that's obviously pinakamalakas na pwedeng kunin ng GR. Yung missile, may yung DR, parang there's not really much presence ng Fervid na gusto nga nilang aningin tong Acceptance sa okay, hindi kami magpaparamdam masyado. Gusto namin tahimik kami as much as possible para ma-throw ang Acceptance. Ganun ba yung iniisip ng Fervid? Sana hindi, kasi it did not pay off dito sa ating first half. And now, Acceptance with a major lead. Tapos natutok pa ni Dre with the assurance na si Ajax makakuha ng trade, and Silent being silent, there's going to be an even huge blessing para sa side ng Acceptance na makuha nga nila ang pabor sa kanilang pag-BBL, no?
Dagan, rip.
Nawagtang.
Event plus yun.
Yun nga. Mostly dagan lang narinig ko, pare. Kasi, that means run. So, there's a whole lot of running dito sa mapa natin, especially on the man on screen kanina na si Silent. And now it's Acceptance's turn na mag-PL side dito ng Salvador, and it seems like they are taking the same route na kinukuha dito ng Fervid. Kind of silence at the start of the round. I wouldn't say na this is fully, yung Fei default dito sa sub-base, pare, considering na medyo malalim sila dito sa MR. But feeling ko, they're trying to draw yung mga moves dito ng Fervid, no? From time to time, nagpipick sila kagaya ng ganyan. Kaya kay A7J. And then, look at that 2-man, pare. Instant 2-man para hanapin sana yung kill dito, pare. So, gusto nilang pakiramdam ko, Acceptance, they really want to make every single fight unfair para sa Fervid kung papasok sila dito.
Well, it's kinda tough, no? To honestly think na paano natin pahihirapan ng Fervid when they already have the distinct advantage, no? The unwritten rule na pumasok ka talaga ng sub-base, makuha mo yung GR, you don't have anything to do rather than hold. So, talagang nilagay na sa'yo, pagka-spawn mo pa lang, you already have passage control and as well as second mid. Kakalabanin na nga lang yan ng Arctic o kaya siguro ng isang magandang shot mula sa baka player na naka-ABR.
It was dead.
Tanong, Acceptance, paano mo pag-iihiwalay ng depensa ngayon ng Fervid? There's not really a split going on. Kung sakaling sumama nga dito sila Ajax, pero here comes the entry. Dre, nice space taken para mawala si A7J. Smokes, wala pa nga tinatawag sa may shutter, so pwede pa itong ilaban ni Lance na nag-reposition na nga dito lang sa may baba ng 2F. Silent and Ting wants to make a split para ma-throw off ka si Lance, pero nasa nakabay entry. Ajax nagparamdam na maaga, but Dre and Heck hearing sa basic shots. Double from Dre and Silent with the lurk. Acceptance, ganun daw umentry, sabi ng Acceptance, at natutunan kagad ng Fervid na hindi madali ang sub-base.
Dude, big shout out to Ajax, man. Sending it dito sa site for the sake of information para sa mga players na nasa loob ng LR. And a very nice anchoring point ang nagawa nila doon kanina, Salvatore. Pero Ajax kanina pa nagpaparamdam sa second mid, paparamdam siya ulit dito sa BL side. Lance is already out. And ito yung kinakatakutan ko dito, man, on the side of Fervid Acceptance. It's the pakaramdam ko that was already pre-planned galing sa kanila. And si A7J spotted na siya kanina dito sa kanan ng LR. So, as soon as they got LR control, hindi nila masyado minadelay. They actually used yung kanilang angles within 4 box and within 2F para i-clear ang ating side. So, very nice teamwork from the side of Acceptance and a very nice flank galing kay Silent. Pakaramdam ko natagalan sila din sa LR, Salvi, kasi inaantay nila din si Silent na baka punta sa kanyang posisyon, men.
Laki na bawi, no? Considering na Acceptance, ang nasa isip ka nila, okay, split, passage, MR. Kasi itong Fervid, ang naisip nila, okay, LR lang talaga eh. Bahala na lang kung may pumasok ng passage kasi pwede naman tayo mag-reposition in order to get coverage, no? And Fervid, parang nawalang bisa tuloy yung ginawa ni D, pati na nga rin ni Lance. Kasi nga, Acceptance, grabe men yung pagkuha talaga ni Silent sa isang magandang push dun sa second mid, and Ajax is, okay, sama ako si Dre? Sama ako ba ito si Heck? Di pre. Sama ako sarili ko. Poprotekta ako sarili ko in the case na kung tatargetin nila ako, merong magagawang play si Dre on his own. So that's a huge trust para talaga sa kanilang IGL na tawagin yung play ng split na yun. So definitely gumagana ang iniisip ng Acceptance, which is just either bulldoze the mid round o kaya hanapin nila yung isang magandang ingay para makapag-reposition si Lance, mabuksan ang second mid at maka-entry nga sila. A7J, good pick para nga kay Silent, pero dyan pala magsisimula ang execution na acceptance habang may inalay nga silang isa pero di na nagiging maganda ang returns ng acceptance at sila already now down 2, pero may bawi ngayon si Ajax is doing a lurk of his own. 2v3 now, heck, tumatalon-talon dito si Dracy pero nang di man lang tumitingin sa direction ng maayos. A7J left all alone in the 2v1.
And look at that spread, no? Galing dito sa side ng acceptance, pare. Pero bago yan, A7J still with an attempt of a 1 versus 2. EPR sa kanyang kamay. Meron pa player na nasa loob ng 2FX. Spotted, spray down. 1
Piso
HP.
dalawa.
Ajax has to be careful. Pareho na sila piso dito. A7J seeing Heck go on the second floor. Pre-fire possible. Pero 15 seconds, si Ajax na mismo ang papas lang sa kanya dito sa loob ng LR. 8-3 acceptance. They are getting it. At sakto timeout so we can kind of further the point dito no Salvatore. I feel like yung ginagawa ng acceptance, they do a really good job of really, paano mo masasabi to? Counting their angles or parang coordinating yung kanilang mga pushes, pare. Let's just say may magpupush ng LR. Tapos may fight na nangyari dito sa LR, papasok dito ng DR. And once a DR player dies, doon naman na action yun nasa passage. Then once na nakakuha dito yung passage, biglang may lalabas na naman ng LR dito, para. It really creates this illusion of confusion no, dito nga sa loob ng B-site natin. And it parang iniisip kasi ng FERVID na obviously medyo uhaw sila sa trades, diba, Salvi? So they will be sending a player to try and get a frag back, pero hindi pala doon nalabas yung isang player, men, nasa kabila pala.
Pre, parang execution, yeah, definitely isa sa mga bagay na if not, yan talaga yung bagay na nagpapalakas sa acceptance ngayon. But let's talk about A for a bit. No? Doon muna tayo sa mga bagay na parang kinikilala natin sa mga players. Heck, grabe ka, sana ganyan ka palagi. No? Heck, sana ganyan. No? Sa lahat ng laban nyo, parating na ang VP at Stalin sa direction nyo, sana yun yung makita nga natin. Pero syempre, sa FERVID muna natin makikita ang kalakasan nga ba talaga neto ni Heck. Pangalawa, Silent, pati na nga rin si Ajax. The original duo no ng acceptance. Silent doing his thing sa EBR, I guess you can respect that. No? Pero si Ajax, that sudden adjustment na mag-double Arctic para dito sa side ng actually nagpalit na talaga sila ng barrel, pero it's the role na kinukuha ni Ajax during the mid rounds. Definitely it's taking a huge toll para sa FERVID stability, no? Like, di mo alam saan magagaling si Ajax, ano nga bang barrel yung dala niya, at paano nga nila guguluhin ang FERVID in the process. I feel like may malaking epekto doon si Ajax tsaka si Silent. Not really on the entry ni Dre kasi Dre, maaasahan mo siya doon no? That's his role. Pero yung paggampan talaga ni Silent at ni Ajax para maging consistent yung dalawang plays ng FERVID to open up the second half is definitely, props for rewards para sa side ng acceptance. Kasi mahirap para gawin ni Silent yung play sa passage. Paano pa si Ajax na pwede nga siyang mahuli sa CR? Pickers advantage ng tao na nasa loob ng CR at nagagawa ng acceptance yun, no? Those very good duels ng acceptance, kaya nila nagagawa tong execution na yun.
Yun nga, no? Just like what I said, pare. I feel like very similar sa nakikita natin to from some of the Brazilian teams. Pero A7J will be getting Ajax. Ajax, alay nga lang siya dito, though. He's gonna create this uncertainty, no? Unless may mag-re-clear dito sa second mid, they really have no idea if it's fully clear or not, at least dito sa may side ng pinto. But at the same time, since wala ng pressure, ang ating kabilang side, pwede pa yun! And Heck using the Sausaw lineup para makuha ang leg dito kay Lons on the KLB spot. Pero hindi siya makakabawi, pare. Here comes the second punch. EBR dito ni Silent. Racy first spotting in na nasa loob ng missile. Tamang sayaw, pero USP na-forward na ka dito. Ting with a very nice trade. 3 versus 3. Di pa tapos ang labanan. Si Ting naman ibababa dito sa side T versus Ting, the head-to-head. Can they get each other's domes here? Ting around the corner. Nakita na nga dito si D. Reloading. Dre nasa CR pala? What? Distraction na pala yung nasa side Salvatore. It was a flank the entire time.
At napakagaling naman nun, niting na i-delay yun ng maayos, no, pre? Nasa tamang wisyo nga ba siya, napikan niya yung taong nasa sikip gamit ang USP. Acceptance, wala na atang kinikilalang malalakas dito sa loob nga ng sub-base. Basta mapunta sa kanilang mapa na to, mawawala lahat ng advantage nila sa mundo. Merong anomalyang nangyayari sa balanse ng mundo, Sneaky. Walang tumatama kay Lance. Pumapalya ang FERVID GR. MZ, A7J adjustment. Kinakalaban ng kanilang mga tao na nasa lababo, pre. Walang naipapalag. Pero Ajax, this is the planting of the seed. Sina Psycho Warfare lang nila ang FERVID. at pwedeng makalibre ng marami. Si Ajax, kakashout siya ng marami dito pag nakuha niya yung 2F player, pre. Lance nakita. There goes the headshot. Nagkukubog na nga sila sa reposition pero nahuli si Ajax.
Shot?
And there goes the shot from Silent. Kailangan niya nga padlinisan ng bias kasi piso na nga lang si Dre. He needs to get at least 2 para maging 2v1 nga to. D, nakuha na nga ang pwesto but D with the headshot. Wala munang seremonyas para sa acceptance. FERVID. Napulot na nila lahat ng kalat para makuha yung round.
Yun nga, finally we get to see that confidence galing dito sa FERVID that was kind of missing the entire game na yun nga, nasasala sila with the wall dance, nasasala sila dito with their own. Pero Trey, spot na kanyang ulo dito sa loob ng MR. Tracifer as well on the outside. Di siya takot na mag-peek. Galing sa passive, Ajax coming out. Pero nandito naman si Ajax, Silent with his own double. Teka lang, Salvi na paikot pa yung mundo.
Sabi ko nga sa'yo, pre, may gumagalaw sa balanse ng mundo. FERVID, what is happening? Walang presensya sa first and second half. Hindi dapat to nangyayari, guys. Acceptance. Merong pagbabagong anyo dito para kay Silent. Lance and MZ na lang natitira for FERVID and they're still yet to gather information kung nasaan nga ba acceptance. There is still a possibility sneaking na mag-split pa sila for the individual play. Pero acceptance, they would be needing at least one member alive, no? Para mas maging malakas pa. But right now, acceptance, that is the least of their worries. At least maggrupo-grupo na nga lang sila, mas lalo mahihirapan ng FERVID.
Yep. Acceptance, no? Tamang dikit na lang sila dito sa Alvi. They do have the numbers advantage. It's a guaranteed trade if ever gusto nila pumasok. Pero Lance could be the equalizer. Para sa kanyang team. One shot, and you're done. Double kill! Never mind, that's 2 for 1, pare! Oh my goodness, heck! Ayaw nang sumala dito. He does spot Lance, pero Lance is also trying to play the crouch game, pero tumama pa rin dun si Heck. How does that happen? MC spotted. Darkroom missed, pero Heck gusto pang bumalik dito na machine room, USP in hand. Umakit na nga dito si MZ, pero saan mag-challenge si Heck instead? Silent jump papuntang vent. Medyo nasuspechahan niya na baka dumaan ng passage itong si Heck thanks to that jump. Hindi yata nag-shift itong si Heck, no? So, will be a bit confusing kung saan siya papunta dito. Pero nasa harap mo na pala, MZ, and that will be the ender dito sa ating sub-base. A 10-4 smacking ng FERVID. Acceptance with absolute strength. They just elbow drop yung buong FERVID team, pare.
Men, FERVID imploding sa loob ng sarili nilang map-pick at wala nang mas satisfying pa na ego check sa estado ng FERVID kundi matalo sa sarili nyong piniling map, no? With the utter confidence na piliin ng subbase kasi bakante. Here is Heck back in his prime, tumatama ang kanyang Arctic at si Silent na hindi mo makita sa mapa na para bang si Elvin, no? Grabe, acceptance, proving na wala tayong kinikilalang agwat sa ligang to, and I love those odds para sa acceptance, no? Na wala talaga silang kinikilalang Diyos sa subbase, and for damn sure wala silang alam dito sa FERVID na ano bang klaseng FERVID na makikita natin ngayon, basta alam namin mas maganda yung tutok ng acceptance. So from Dre's entries, Ajax lurking, Silent hitting the shots, wala nang mas magandang formula pa sa acceptance na lahat ng gulong gumagana.
Kumbaga para yun nga, it seems like Team Acceptance do not believe in the hierarchy ng ating liga noon. And naging topic na rin natin yan, Salvatore, dito sa ating podcast where it kind of feels like the entire league, wala nang two-horse race, wala nang sinasabi natin na top 4 or top 6. I feel like the entire top 8 can definitely compete papunta nga dito sa ating playoffs. And yun nga, sinabi ko nga last year, yun nga, that could have probably been the best year of Filipino CROSSFIRE, but I feel like wala pa tayong kalahati dito, hinihigitan na nga, no? So, I feel like it's already a really good showing para sa Team Acceptance. It also shows a lot of growth para sa kanila kasi, ayun nga, no, for the past few weeks, they have been trying to find their stability time and time again, and I feel like nakuha na nila yun dito sa mapa ng subbase. Problema ka lang, no, Salvi, there will be a few questions, or at least question marks, papunta nga dito sa map number 2, considering na ang Kara is gonna be a whole lot bigger, and it is a map na FERVID is also very familiar with, no? So, Team Acceptance, granted, nanalo kayo sa map number 1, the fight's not gonna get easier in map number 2.
Definitely, no? Para nababaliktad na nga ang Fervid Destiny dito. Kung sila ang reverse sweep, sila naman ngayon ang nangangailangan mag-reverse sweep para makuha nga nilang series ka na to. But, ang Kara is still something of a map na pwede pa rin makuha na acceptance. Malalaman nga natin mamaya, pero ibabato muna natin sa ating panel para makita nga natin ang kanilang reaksyon. Kasi nga, kagulat-gulat nga naman talaga ang pinakita na acceptance. Mochi and Bipolar, kamusta kayo dyan?
Ayun, ganun po yung gulat namin. Maraming
Yes.
salamat sa ating mga casters and dude! Kung papasulatin tayo ng reaction paper dito, Bipolar, I feel like kaya natin to pahabain hanggang 3 pages. Kasi ganun lang din naman katindi yung naging performance dito ng acceptance. And naaalala mo, yesterday, nag-podcast si Sneaky Froggy Salvatore and as well as si El, ang kanilang +1, no? At binanggit nila that FERVID has struggles facing up against sniper-centric teams.
Yeah.
At eto, binigyan na ng ebidensya ang kanilang pointer na yon, which is insane.
Yeah. Yun nga, Mochi, no? I mean, ang saya panoorin ng matchup na yun. Even on subways of all maps. Isipin mo yun, we gave them a challenge again. I feel like we always have to give challenges towards these teams. Kasi palagi tayo pinapakitaan dito ng ating parang sagot dun sa mga challenges na yun. With Heck being on this vent side, ang dami niyang ways para mapuntirya dito yung GR side ng acceptance. And with Heck frying every front body from multiple corners, wala magawa dito ang FERVID. But big ups to Ajax, man. Big ups to Dre as well. Talagang headshot city for him. Meanwhile, ang buong FERVID, hindi sila makahinga. And when it was on the switch of the sides, grabe yung teamwork dito ng acceptance. They had multiple areas covered with multiple people. Kung isip mo rin, last time na nakita natin acceptance from like 2 maps ago or 2 series ago, medyo kalat. Medyo parang kapag last 3 players na lang natin nakikita yung buong acceptance na, oy guys, it's a team game. We have to play as a team. Pero ngayon, holy mother of God, that BL side was so peak na hindi man lang di ako nakakita ng butas doon. Pero for Vida, they're trying to, naging passive sila dito sa GR side nila. It was almost parang, put your backs up against the wall and wait for the action na ibibigay ng ating acceptance. But what else can we say? What a round ender from Heck. Kahit na namatay dito ng 2 beses yung kakapi niya from a singular bullet given by Lance, the experience and the veterans of the player to go for the clutch na pumasok pa mismo dito sa may fence, I believe talagang napanalo niyan. But now, look at Dre, I'm telling you, headshot city. 15 kills and 14 headshots. We're in
That's so
100% rating. Again, it's just beautiful to see.
Exactly. I think beautiful is an understatement. This is magnificent, Bipolar. 100. And other than that, I love how the rest has been able to, again, closely work with each other. Kung dati, binanggit mo na nga rin, pag nagkakabawasan sila, nagkakaroon ng kakulangan, nahihirapan sila na responde sa isa't isa dahil masyado silang malayo, no? There are some comms na hindi nila nare-release sa isa't isa. Pero that is quite the opposite that we have seen dito, no, sa kanilang laban ng sub-base. And here for FERVID, no, nice try, no, let's see if there would be an answer back pagdating sa ating mapa na Ankara, pero I think ito muna ang ating i-highlight ngayon. With 1.67 KD, Dre has been able to mark that 100% rating up, ensuring that every single round, there's automatically a -1 against FERVID. I cannot fathom how Dre has been able to perform up to this caliber against the team who managed to take off a map or get a really close fight against Team Stallions, Bipolar.
Alam mo, Mochi, ito yung sinasabi natin, even before the show started, sinabi natin here on the panel desk na kailangan maganda dito ng FERVID because despite acceptance already in a tie game sa kanilang journey right now sa group stage, well, they are still a tough team to beat. At pinakita doon dito ni Heck at pati ni Dre ang lakas sila on sub-base. No? Iba talaga kapag Kurt yung pangalan mo, sinasabi ko sa inyo. But nonetheless, FERVID now, they need to come back or it's gonna be a 2-0 for acceptance.
That's true, and that is why aalamin natin mamaya kung meron pa nga bang bawi ang FERVID dito or will Team Acceptance create that statement at mapo-force na lang itong i-accept ng FERVID. Malalaman natin yan maya-maya. Welcome everyone, and now we're back dito pa rin sa ating unang laban for today. It is FERVID Esports versus Team Acceptance, where earlier on there is quite of a really exciting and surprising result from the map of Subbase, where they managed to rack up that win against FERVID. And reminder, this is the very same FERVID na almost nang tumalo sa Team Stallions nung isang linggo. Ano kayang expectations natin for our next map here, Bipolar?
Our expectation will be met with a beautiful performance, Mochi. Yan na may kita natin dito sa Ankara. And again, sinabi ko naman, no, na starting point lang naman yun for FERVID. So let's give them a little bit of,
Of
for
course.
a little bit of leeway. Kasi yung STS matchup na yun, that's not really the end. But for Acceptance, man, oh, I love to see that kind of playstyle ulit, no? Parang calculated, simula pa lang ng paggalaw ng mga models sila dito sa buong CROSSFIRE, no? Na parang Acceptance knows what they're doing, and they're accepting that anyone can be defeated, and they are the ones to be the ones to give those defeats pagdating dito sa ating mga players. So, if they go up into a 2-0 scoreline up against FERVID, well, Acceptance, feeling ko yung 30% ng pumupuso kanina sa community pulse will be now becoming 100%. Kasi kakaiba yun, Moch. Isipin mo, heck, Silent Ajax, Dre, and Ting. Kahit na si Ting hindi masyado dito nag-overpower, no, there's multiple plays that you should look out for kapag nasa Acceptance. Kakaiba ang playstyle nila dun sa Subbase. But now, on Ankara, let's see, no, they'll be starting on the BL side, I believe. But let's check na lang pag dumating na yung Yasas.
And gusto ko lang to ilapag before natin ibata sa ating mga casters. I love that Team Acceptance took everything that we said into heart, no? Kitang-kita yung kanilang
certainly.
improvements. Pero other than that, it's time para ilapag na tayo para sa ating mga casters. Diggy Frog and Salvatore, take it away.
Maraming salamat dyan sa ating panel. Well said for both Bipolar and then Mochi. There's a steady improvement para talaga dito sa side ng Team Acceptance. And Sneaky Frog, bilang nanonood din ng mga ibang liga natin dito lang sa ating CFS, parang meron talagang nationwide effect ngayon ang mga top teams na nakakaranas ng pag-aabot talaga ng 3 sets at dinudurog na lang ng mga nasa outside ng top 4. Na parang AG, tinatalo na lang bigla dito ng E-Star, Baisha Gaming and Evolution Power losing their own bouts. Team Liquid na pinapaabot sa 3 sets. Rock Esports parang nakikipagdikdikan sa 9Z nga ngayon. This is nothing different sa nakikita natin from both Acceptance and as well as FERVID. At kita-kita mo nga naman talaga, it's not just from the other regions. Alam mo talaga na Philippines is now a legit contender na hindi na lang tayo tumitingin sa dalawang teams na nasa taas.
Alam mo, Salvi, pakiramdam ko, hindi similar yung pakiramdam nito yung sa 2025. I think it would do a disservice. Tara, let's roll back one more year. This feels like 2024, especially at the end of it, no? Siyempre, hindi pa malakas yung Ubek nung time na yun, but they went undefeated sa group stage. But this is kind of the similar vibe nung nanalo yung Evolution Power sa main stage. Paalala lang, no? They were the 4th seed nung time na yun, pare, at sila pa nanalo ng buong CFS. I think no one was really looking at Mino and the boys to win the entire thing, no? Pero nagawa nga nila yun. So, hopefully, we do see the exact same story as well pagdating sa liga natin. And hopefully, maybe, just maybe, pagdating nga sa series na to, no? Kasi yun nga, I feel like the Team Acceptance win up against itong FERVID potentially, pare, would definitely, make yung standings natin topsy-turvy and create more confusing conversations para nga sa atin dito. And speaking of international, no, nga, Team Acceptance, I feel like they've been watching a lot of Brazil recently. Pansin ko lang sa Subbase nila, pare.
Isang malupit na podcast na usapan nga yun. Pero speaking of podcast, ito pre, mga nagpo-podcast na, FERVID at Acceptance.
Wala mid. I'm a BG. May last one lang.
Smoke ka na. Smoke ka nga si kan mid ah.
Ato ka pa dool di. Kisak pa na naman ka dira. Kaya kapat.
There it is. There's the talks. And Salvatore, may isa akong gusto makita galing sa Acceptance dito sa mapa na to. I want to see the exact same thing na pinupull off nila dito sa Subbase. Na nagpo-poke and prod sila dito sa mapa to and expecting na may biglang lalabas ng TB, may biglang lalabas ng HM at CA at the same time. I want to see those crunches, no, paminsan-minsan para sa Acceptance kasi pakaramdam ko yun yung nagpapaaning dito sa FERVID and also, the cheeky individual peaks from time to time. I really do not want to see them, kind of sitting like this the entire time, pare. Pero baka tester round pa lang naman to. They're just trying to feel out kung anong ibibigay dito ng FERVID, pare.
Pretty tough call, no, na mag-poke and prod dito sa GR. Well, it's Ankara. It's kind of rewarding pag mayroon ka talagang napilas ng maayos dito, no, from the bouts, from yellow all the way to vents. At ito na nga rin sa magandang halimbawa dito, no? Batteries all the way to HM. Pwedeng i-force to ng FERVID kasi they love to play EAHM o HMTV. Natin acceptance. They do have a good amount of numbers. Dito naman sa loob nga ng B site, first contact technically dito si Ting kung magpapa-second mid nga sila. Si Heck, wala pang kaalam-alam. Wala siyang kasama ka dito other than Ting himself. At tinan mo naman yung rotation dito. May iwan si Lance bilang anti-rotation. Ting nahuli na nga at nandun si A7J bilang pansalubong. Pero si D, nasa na nga ba yung kill na yun? Finally, they take him down. Heck ngayon, nagkukumahog para makapag-reposition at napakatagal lumikot na acceptance. Nagulat na lang sila. Wala na silang dalawang players for defense.
Yun nga, Lance already on the overlook ng ating B-side. Granted, hindi nakaplant sa kanya pare, pero pwede siya pumilas na napakadaming gusto mag-rotate na papasok ng site. Quick scope. Dito kay Simon. There we go. Bit late, pero di nakikita na kay headshot dito kay Dre. And the USP drop shot. Ayun nga, bit delayed lang para dito kay Lance. So first point, para dito sa FERVID. Salvi, not gonna lie, I didn't like the reaction dito ng acceptance. So pakiramdam ko mas maganda sana if they went the two-man clear papuntang CA at may control pa sila HM. May control pa sila sana ng HM dito, no? But they're really uncertain kung may tao nga dito sa LA. They had no info.
Ayun yung pinakamahirap na frito na i-pull off eh, no? Tatlo talaga na nasa loob ng A-site Ajax. Wow! Ayoko na, Sneaky.
No.
Kita,
Wala pa, men.
ayoko na.
Paplum pa lang yan.
Di, ang kapal na talaga dun.
May
Imagine,
manifest pa yan,
imagine.
I swear. May manifest yan
Ay,
sa
nako.
taas, I think. I don't know.
Even,
Actually,
di ko alam.
si pangalan nga din sa taas. Pero, CA control.
Pero ito pre, another round na ang depensa na naman ng FERVID is 3-2 na walang nakahawak ng HM. Si Ajax bilang nagpapatrol, not really the best bout eh, no? Parang feeling ko dapat Arctic player pa rin yung nandyan. Pero men,
Lipat niya si Ting, pare. Punta
Kaya
niya
nga.
sa A, tapos si Ajax na lang nasa B, no? Gawin nila yung double snipe sa B.
iwan nila si Heck, di ba? Parang kaya naman ni Heck eh. He's good for one. A force 4v4 is always good para sa GR side, no? Pero FERVID, I feel like it's technically still a good call, pero hindi kasi sure kung ano pwede kakalabasan nito for acceptance. Could be a 3v5.
There it is, flashes, nades, everything. Tinapan na dito sa top A. Ito na yung kalat ng FERVID. Silent instantly spotted dito sa top A. Cannon stairs, Ajax, quick scope, kahit bulag. MC mamamatay na rin. Dre will be getting D at naubos na dito yung FERVID sa loob ng site. And Heck will be getting that last one. I love yung move doon ni Dre. I really love yung move doon ni Dre sa Alvi kasi hindi siya nag-full commit papunta dito sa top A natin, and para kay Ajax, he just dropped down. Hindi na objective kumbaga na hanapin tong player dito sa top A, instead is to try and distract him and create a bit more of a harder fight para sa kanila dito pare. Pero speaking of a hard fight, Heck facing 4 dito sa hotel.
Okay, may entry nga rin dito si Dre Cipher na nagulat na lang din si Ting na naglaho na nga siya. Dre, discipline! Grabe nga naman na parang nasa kumpento. Dre, tahimik pero grabe ang ingay. He's only good for 2. Okay na yon para sa acceptance. What a play by Dre. Ajax now cutting the rotation and A7J is down 2v1 na lang. Lance needs to secure a 2K para mapunta sa FERVID ang round, and Silent and Ajax with an amazing reposition. Kita mo nga naman na they're playing for retakes. Sneaky Lance na nasa radar na nga ni Silent. He's gonna get it one. Ngayon, 1v1 na nga lang. Ajax alam ko nasaan ang C4. Kita mo nga naman na hindi nila gamit ang kanilang primary weapon. Labanan ng USP at mas bilis. Dungot-dot si Ajax. Acceptance winning the 1v1.
And a 2-1 para sa acceptance. Alvi, ayun nga, no? Kind of the same problem na nakita natin sa A-side kanina with a bit of clearing on the side of acceptance. But at the same time, ayun nga, Salvi, you gotta check your corners. Dracifer was kind of feeling para may drum in bass, no? Na nagpe-play sa kanyang tenga the way that he's entering dito sa loob ng ating hotel, no? Padire-diretso lang, no checking. And obviously, yung mga resolution ng player natin ay naka na 800 by 600 or 1024 na hindi mo talaga makikita yan, men. Pero really good read galing kay Ajax, no, na granted, lahat sila sa hotel lumabas. For sure, may lalabas din dito na second mid. No, buhay pa dito si Lito.
I mean, like, acceptance. I did not expect na mababawi nila kagad yung pagkawala talaga ni Ting, eh, no? And definitely, sa mga bagay na matututunan ng acceptance, wag na kayo makinig sa akin. Pagpatuloy nyo na lang yung 3-2 setup na yan. Kasi umubra naman kung magpa 5 stack ang FERVID. gumana lang naman kanina kasi wala talagang may nagpa-HM rather sa FERVID. So, acceptance, at least meron dapat silang sense of awareness pa rin na may magro-rotate pa rin once or twice papuntang exit para man lang ma-check kung may magsi-second bid o kaya HM. Ngayon, tinan mo, iniistakan na nga kagad ng FERVID ang potential B entry nga nila wherein MZ. Nandoon si Ting, nandoon si Hek, pwede nga siyang mahuli dito. There's going to be a huge possibility na acceptance will be able to read this for retake o kaya sa isang magandang 1-for-1.
Yeah, kailangan lumayo dito ni Lance ang onte para malabas na ang kanyang TRG. So it doesn't get full swung by Ting dito sa HM pare. So a bit more of a relaxed setup para sa mga B players natin. Ting spotting kung nasaan si Lance. USP rounding the corner. Tamang ratrat lang. Patay na nga dito yung HM control ng acceptance. Pero naandito pa naman si Hek. Pero alam niya ba na naandito si A7J sa second mid. Tamang harap, tamang talikod. Pero mamamatay lang rin si Hek. And it will be him going down. 3 players na nasa A side ng mapa. Pare masyado yata mabagal yung reaction ng acceptance. They barely moved.
Oh, the few rounds no, na may nagpa-HM naman pero sinagasaan pa rin ng FERVID yun. Good shots here for Silent. Marami pa namang oras para makapag-retake pero sila alam na nga informasyon ngayon ni Silent. Kaso di ka naman tumingin! Alam mong nanggaling ng bypass, Lance cleared a different angle. 16 seconds left. Parating na ka si Dre. Kenny clear all the 3 members. Half-blinded na nga ngayon. Gonna get the headshot in 10 seconds left. Napakalabo. It's planted para sa 2F. Dracifer now with the shot. And there it is. FERVID, amazing entry and an even better post-plant. Acceptance, masyadong minaliit ang kanilang depensa ngayon na parang akala ata nila ubra.
Yeah, ito yung adjustment dito, no, salve dito ng FERVID na they really have to make sure that they really can get these players, no, na hindi sila makaka-play for life dito sa mga spots nila dito. And I feel like Acceptance has done a really good job of playing for lives for the past few rounds. Pero Hek, naparapa na nga dito sa BB. Ting right behind him at nakuha pa nila si Gracifer. Acceptance suddenly turning up the aggression dito sa mapa natin. Lance nakita na si Silent but does it even matter pare? It's a 4 versus 2.
The position dito para kay 7J, no? Usually the angle na hindi kiniklear masyado. There it is, A7J. Gonna land the shot to make it a 2v3. Kaso si Ajax gumagawa din ng sarili niyang play. Good for 1. Ajax, Lance na huling. Gustong pumunta ng hukay at dyan ka ilalagay ni Ting. Acceptance, binawi din kagad.
Yun nga men, and Acceptance obviously naramdaman nila yung adjustment, no, Salvatore, and they're like, okay, magpipick na lang kami dito sa TB. Ting, samahan mo ako, sabi dito ni Hek, and we are gonna get 3 players in this position. And another denial para sa mid-control dito ng FERVID. A 7J down. Di man lang nakarating ng hukay pare. And FERVID having to operate outside of a 4v5 pare.
That's very good position, no, para sa mga nag-rotate ng floor 18. And Dracifer, possible bout sa may sabon. Pati na nga rin sa LB. Ang problema kasi dito, no, yung idea na Lance is giving space, pero FERVID is always getting caught in the middle of rotation. Yun yung pwedeng mangyari dito para sa FERVID. Pag nahanap nga ni Ting to, that is always a good sign na para sa Acceptance. Na makuha nga nila yung bypass, they're going to cut LA. So, nakasalalay nga to for both Dracifer and Lance to make sure na yung play ng FERVID, papasok nga naman talaga ng maganda. LA already being taken control ni MZ and as well as ni Lance. May mga magpaparamdam dito lang sa may mid, hinting for a TBHM split. Ting nakalampas, wala na nga si Dracifer. This is a very good lurk. Kaso nga lang si Ting nakatingin nga ba na tamang direksyon? That is a failed play para nga dito kay Ting, but still, winnable round para ka sa Acceptance. FERVID now eyeing for an entry.
Yun lang, Ajax. USP though, nahanap dito si MZ, but he is just a distraction para dito sa FERVID. 50 seconds left. Lance sa loob ng spawn. Spotting Silent. Good cut off on the rotation. And Ajax malalaglag na rin. No longer can Acceptance play for life dito sa mapa natin. Not as easy as before. Pero si Dre, nakita na ka dito si Lance. 24 seconds left. Definitely possible. Especially barag pa dito si D pare. D. Dracifer not playing the same angle. So HK 417 pa naman nahawak dito ni Dre, no? So it's not gonna be the best gun to wall bang with. And Dracifer, tamang info lang, and it will be the easiest round beat of his life pare. 3-3. FERVID getting the round back at kailangan mag-time out dito ang
Ooh.
Fervin pare. Medyo delikado kasi yung back and forth sa simula namin. It kind of feels like they're kind of wasting points dito sa BL side kasi kada every other round natin pare, nasasagot ng acceptance yung tinatapon nila men.
Definitely, good call para ka sa FERVID, pero habang maaga pa nga lang, first half, magtatawag ka na nga ng timeout. Very odd from the sceneries na nakita natin ng mga nakaraan. Usually, second half pa natin nakikita o kaya sobrang lambastic na nga talaga nung lamang mismo. Pero good call para dito kay Coach Aris na sa ngayon pa lang, they really need to fix this idea of mid-rounding, no? Na parang they're taking their time, but at the same time, there's not really much an effect to it, no? Na they want HM control, pero parang hindi nila gugustuhin yung HM na yun kasi baka i-double pick tayo ng second mid. Baka magro-rotate na exit, mahuli nga tayo. It was a very good take para kay Lance and I feel like dapat din sila nag-bounce, no? Na kaya naman i-duel ni Lance and as well as MZ yung HM. Pangalawa, Acceptance wants to play for retake at yun ang talagang iisipin ngayon ng FERVID. Oh, it's retake. Pero it's not really a retake na okay, it's a 3v5, no? Feeling ko dapat may presence ang FERVID sa early game eh. Parang pagamitin nila si Lance for that dueling talaga. To force the 4v5, to force a even better, a 5v3, no? And wala naman siguro problema sa lurking. So I feel like FERVID just needs to make sure na kumpleto sila. They have the right amount of utils para ma-throw off yung mga members sa may top A. And pangalawa, just that mid-rounding talaga, men. Parang hindi naman ganun ka major adjustment. Feeling ko lang talaga FERVID kailangan nilang pag-ingatan lang yung fights na kinukuha nga nila. In Acceptance, I feel like they're prepared for that adjustment. Kasi nga, since GR sila, they're more than anticipating the pushes ng FERVID. It will just solely depend sa pinagagawa ni Silent and Ajax and then just Dre hitting the shots. No?
Yun nga pare. And gusto ko sana makita yung ginawa ng Acceptance no kanina. Yung parang yung nila sa hotel especially, na magda-drop smoke ka lang for the sake of information, nakahawak ka lang ng smoke, just checking if ever may tao nga doon sa loob and then you can just kind of fight it on the site, no? And yun nga, I feel like that is one of the main reasons why itong Acceptance na, they have been getting some very good guesses dito sa mapa natin. And ito namang FERVID natin, ano kaya kanilang i-adjust dito, man? I really wish na, I want to see a bit more later pushes galing sa kanila para let them kind of set up first and then doon sila magpa-punishment. Kaso Lance,
The Ajax, no way.
he gets this. Yun lang.
Oh!
I knew it, pare. I knew it. Lugi si Lance dun, men eh. As soon as you drop down sa vents at may info na dun yung sniper sa'yo, you might as well run. Pero wala, men. The ego says otherwise.
Not even a reposition para kay Lines and MZ. Syempre yung EBR pa. Yung makakuha ng kills, Nikki. Grabe naman ang panlalason ng dalawang teams nga na to, no? But meanwhile, teka lang. Just a bit. As early as right now, wala pa rin silang nakukuhang mid control, which is very good, no, for FERVID para mabait siguro Acceptance na okay, laban lang tayo ng mga long angles. LB and LA lang muna tayo. Feel like, sinasay ko nga nila dito ang Acceptance. Pero si A7J ang may iwan sa minute. Very good call here for FERVID. That is necessarily the thing to do, knowing na wala na bang mawawala kung si A7J ang mapilas nga dito since 1 HP na nga lang siya, or mas maganda pa pag nakakuha ng marami pang kills si A7J. 2v3 incoming para sa loob nga ng B site. Alam mo talaga na Acceptance hindi sa nagpapakagat eh, no? Like, clearly wala pa rin nagro-rotate nga sa kanila. They still want the defense to work sa loob ng A site.
Yun lang, heck. Nag-timing, minute check dito sa hotel side natin. Dracifer on the second swing, di niya makuha dito si Ting. Will get taken down by D, pero di mo alam na may tao pa pala dito sa likod. Pero heck, hindi niya sinagad dito yung second mid. Interestingly enough, I think he's looking for the bigger fish. Si Silent na nga bahala dito kay D. But it's actually a 2 versus 1 para kay D na nasa HM. Trey will be taking him, A7J will be taking him down as well. And yun nga, I feel like that's the reason why hindi masyado nag-push si Heck. A7J was still missing dito sa mapa natin, pero MZ mawawala lang rin ang buhay ni Silent. Heck, the last one left alive na nasa second mid. MZ spotted. Nakatalikod! Heck spotting. Pero makikita niya ba dito si A7J? A7J, nakita ang kanyang kamay, nakita ang kanyang USP. 10 seconds left and not much time to decide kung anong site ang gustong kukunin. 5 more seconds. A7J running. At nalabas ang C4 sa maling oras, pare. That will be another point for Acceptance. Really good hold galing kay Heck.
There's still 2 seconds, no? Para may oras pa ata para i-clear mismo yung batteries para kay A7J, but he opts na i-plant na nga lang para ka sa RS. Panic para sa side ng FERVID. not able to convert the timeout na very crucial no? Kasi ito na yung oras, ito yung period na bakante na yung utak kanila. They just need to refine the mid-round. At grabe nga naman dito pa talaga sila nagpakita ng konting expose, no? From Acceptance, amazing gameplay from both Ajax and as well as Ting doing their own play para talaga yung trades na kukunin ng FERVID pumantay para sa Acceptance. And si Heck, grabe men, yung parang nakatago nakaka-counter UAB dito. Si Heck na hindi siya makita-kita ng FERVID despite the knowledge na okay, masyado nang maingay yung second mid. Baka si Ting to. Yun lang pre. That one suspicion ng FERVID, yun yung nagpanaig dito para sa side na Acceptance na i-capitalize nga na yun no? So it was technically a double lurk as GR. Napakagandang play naman yun from Acceptance, paying homage dito sa SGJ. FERVID now entering sa loob ng A site with a position para sa lineups.
Yeah, nades all over the place pare, pero yun nga, si Acceptance, paano sila mag-play for life dito sa top 8. Ray, hindi pa namamatay. Ajax with a good first shot. Dito kay MZ, they're having a hard time entering the site D, finally with the first kill. Pero nakatakas na rin kasi yung mga players natin on their side. Lons a bit late sa kanyang paglipat dito sa boxes. Ting is gonna be harassing him temporarily. Pero mag-iigi siya ng tulong galing kay A7J. But at the same time, Silent getting the top 8 control. Napalikta sa kamay dito ng GR. Pero the drop down not gonna work for Silent. A7J will be getting him 1 versus 2. Ajax getting Lons on the behind. At na-stuck na ka dito si Lito sa ating Vince. Na timeout did nothing. Nada para dito sa FERVID.
At kung meron mang ginawa yung timeout na yun, Stingy, mas pababor pa talaga sa Acceptance. Ngayon, alam na nga nila ang bupit ng FERVID no? It was all too obvious that the lineups is going to heavily favor FERVID at least for the start, no? Kaso, kulang-kulang naman yung spaces na kinuha ni Dean Ajax. Ayang ka na naman. How are you outsniping Lance? The man that outsnipered Revenge inside of sa base. Lance. Grabe, men. What is happening, FERVID? May pagbabago na parang di ata matanggap-tanggap ng FERVID, kaya Acceptance is ushering in a new version of Ankara. Parang hindi talaga pumapabor sa side ng FERVID at di sila makasabay.
Yun nga, Acceptance. Grabe no, pa-shift yung kanilang depensa dito, Salvatore. We were kind of seeing more, more of a 3-2 very far back default kanina galing sa Acceptance. But now, this has been the most forward their defense has ever been, especially dito sa may hotel side natin. And FERVID possibly with an entirely wrong read dito sa mapa natin, man. They are expecting na 3-2 yung mangyayari dito. But look at the movement galing sa Acceptance, pare. They're already in B.
Napakahigpit naman ito. Pero depende na nga lang gano'ng kabilis. Kaso crouch-pikan ka lang ni A7J. That's a good anticipating pick para kay A7J. At ngayon, chaotic player pa rin naman dito ang Acceptance. And now, Acceptance could really use some trades now para talaga mas mapahirapan pa dito ang FERVID sa kanilang pagpasok nga ng site. But they are playing it passive, which is very smart of them, no? Sneaky. Acceptance, clearly gusto nga nilang isandwich dito yung pagpasok ng FERVID dun nga sa RS. Pero Ajax, nakita na nga si Dracefer, they take him down. USP na kanyang hawak. What is this from Silent? Saan ka nang galing, pre? Nagulat talaga ang FERVID na naglaho nga sila. And another 6-3 half by Acceptance. FERVID, hindi makabitaw.
Yun nga, man. FERVID, it just seems like they're trying to counter an entirely different team not named Acceptance, pare, dito sa mapa natin. Yun nga, no? I feel like that would have worked, up against, yung the Atrases and the VPs, yung mga slower teams natin, pare. But Acceptance, it seems like variety is really messing with the heads dito ng FERVID. Di mo talaga alam kung passive hold ba yung gagawin dito ng Acceptance, if it is gonna be a bit of poke and prod dito sa hotel or may HM peak na mangyayari. But at the same time, man, Ajax, yeah, the man who was once lost dito sa Eagle Eye, now he's finding himself dito sa mapa ng Ankara. And his secondary sniper has been very effective, pare, especially neutralizing itong si Lance, no, sa kanya mga common angles dito, pare. FERVID, they look a bit lost, pare. It seems like, ayun nga, wouldn't want them to be in this form kasi kung ganito yan, man, magpapost na naman ng quote dito si Kuya Aris, and I wouldn't wanna see that, pare.
This has got to be like the most outrageous season of CROSSFIRE yet no? Na parang kayang talunin ng execration ng top 2 tapos matatalo sa matches. FERVID only getting sub-base dito sa loob ng Team Stallions. Matches reviving itong buhay nga ni Zach. and Acceptance taking both first halves of 2 sets laban sa not just any other team. Ito nga palang FERVID na kayang talunan ng Execration at kayang kunin ng subbase ng Stallions. What in the world is happening to the league right now?
What if mali tayong lahat dun sa podcast prediction natin? Ayun nga. What if
Maganda nga yun,
it's not
pre.
gonna be FERVID, it's not gonna be VP, it's not gonna be SDS, it's not gonna be EXE. We are sending Acceptance and Atras to France. Or matches. Matches to France would be nice.
Matches, pre! Matches!
Dagan.
May TV yun. IG yung kurso.
Flip ni mo sa may nga huwag iya.
HM na to.
Silagas mo iibay. Silagas mo dara.
Tale of two teams, no? Acceptance tahimik, FERVID mas tahimik. Acceptance. Papasok na nga sila dito. Here on HM na wala man lang nag-check ng EA pre, which is very uncalled for para sa Acceptance. Tama lang siguro na umatras na sila. What?
Yeah, I think we're out. I think we just send it. Kung ikaw si Ting dito, at the same time, your life is kind of expendable, no? Bilang yung
Dre.
designated yellow to CA jumper, pare.
Okay. FERVID, ito yung side. Napabor para sa inyo. At least we know what you're capable of, no? Para dito kay Lance and Racifer silent. Again, potential double kill in the making. 1 and 2, pero napisa niya si D. That's already good. Lance now, amazing crouch pick. 2-for-1 exchange para sa Acceptance at FERVID. Nakita mo, inaangat na kagad ngayon ng FERVID ang kanilang depensa by going back into their posts. Okay na yung mga picks na nakuha nila.
Yun nga, nagamit pa yung netcam dito ni Drain, no? To confirm na wala nang nagre-repeat na sniper. Dito sa may B-sighting, Ajax and Heck. Let's see kung kaya nilang talunin. Oh, nasa side, D will go to a backflip dito sa may bato natin, pare. Lons will be doing nothing on the site. Only the shot at the beginning of the round. Yung tatama para sa kanila dito, pare. 2 versus 3. A7J and MZ. Classic duo as old as time. Pero speaking of as old as time, pare, Ajax timeless ang kanyang sniper, pare. Tumatama pa rin hanggang ngayon. 28 seconds left. A7J with a hell of a clutch attempt. Heck will be spotting if both snipers are hitting at full capacity. Salvatore, Acceptance. Nako po, I was thinking Ankara was gonna be a closer affair, but it's anything but, pare.
Papaalala ko lang si Ajax pre. Attacker yan. At buti na nga lang nahanap na natin siya kasi Acceptance needs him more than ever. And he's winning against Lance. And once again, another start ng Acceptance na mauhuli si Lance. Usually, sinanay tayo, niligawan tayo ng sobra-sobra ni Lance na pagtitingin siya ng Flore at Bents, palaging papabor ang FERVID sa trade na yun. But right now, pre, meron talagang inihip dito Acceptance. Hindi natin maintindihan paano napapagana ni Heck at Ajax yung mga early fights.
Yeah, FERVID seemed confused the entire time, no, pare. Lance, I feel like that's a desperation move galing sa kanya, pare, to try and get the 4 versus 4 sa start ng round at the very least. Pero feeling ko aware na dito yung Acceptance, so especially at this point na sobrang down ka pa, 6 and 3, and then akapanalo na dito ng Acceptance. You can kind of feel FERVID, no? Papapaisip sila, okay, we need to do something about this. And unfortunately, you know, that thing was easily countered nga dito ng Acceptance at they kind of read the read dito ng ating mapa, pare. FERVID, only one player na nasa loob ng B-site, or not really inside of the B-site, more like in-spawn, having an angle into B-site, ay itong si Dracifer. And pag malagpasan siya dito, pare, that's basically game over for the B-site. That's retake, man.
What is Acceptance breathing, no, pre? Kailangan gan din natin yun para baka sakaling iangat
Oh my God!
palalo ang ating paglalaro ng Crossfire. Pre, whatever Acceptance is doing, it's definitely working. Ajax now, gonna get the kill. Reposition, Arctic hindi nga gagana din. A7J with the recovery para dito kay Kuya. Silent now entering. Nasaan ang post plant? Hindi na kinakailangan pagpatay na ang kalaban. Silent, dumiretso ng Ares. Ganun daw maglaro ng post plant. 1v3 now, hindi man lang tumigil. And Acceptance, 8-3 inside of Ankara.
Yun nga, men, and the lacking is real dito sa mapa natin. Ironically, this kind of reminds me of the time na, yun nga, no, with the VP versus Atras, where they're getting one-sided dito sa mapa. They are trying everything. Itong FERVID pagdating nga dito sa GR side nila, aggressive moves, you know, more stacks on the A side of the map. Them trying to see kung kaya nilang saluhin, no, kung ano man tinatapon nga dito na Acceptance. But it seems like Acceptance, every single time, they just find the hole in the defense. Pero MZ, try nang kumulit dito. Pero aware yung Acceptance. Sting is gonna die, but where's the trade? Ay, magpakita ni
Finally,
Sarge.
no? Finally, pre. Out of all the rounds played, meron ng first pick ngayon ang FERVID. Tanong na lang kung paano nga nila i-convert to. They had the first pick. They have GR. There's no way, right? Hindi pwede. Hindi maaari to. Walang daan. Unless malarkan sila na Silent dito, which is very unlikely kasi literally FERVID is playing within sight range. MZ, pinaka-crouch pickan nga ngayon ni Heck. Good shoulder pick. Heck not bothering challenging it once again. Pero si MZ baka ilaban pa nga to. Silent now, gonna get the kill. Oh my God, Acceptance! What just happened? Pinaliktad yung agad ang advantage ng FERVID.
Oh, Tracy first started running at the wrong time as well dito sa Alvi. Rinig yung Silent ang kanyang pagkatapak dito. But the fact is, hindi pa nila kinuha tong A site, no, despite the 2 kills that they did get dito sa Vents at sa Room A.
What?
At may magre-repeat pa ng Room A at pangalan niya ay, or actually Vents A, pangalan niya ay D. But can he get the headshot dito kay Silent? Yung kanina pang umaaksyon para sa Acceptance. Hard times for FERVID so far. Di na timingan pa nga dito sa Vents. Siya pa yung nakaltukan dito, pare. Lance also fully well aware na pwedeng may dumaan dito sa may CA side, HM side. Will be peeking. Silent, nasa likod na ng tower. Dre will be getting it. Silent will be spraying it. Yun lang, the last one left alive. Lance namatay na nga, and Silent with the best angle you can hope for a very low spawn player na naka-HK dito, men. Wala kang madadaanan whatsoever, D. And you are stuck within your own spawn. Ajax will be falling. USP nilabas. Pero Silent, tamang upo lang dito sa taas, pare. Hindi niya kailangan gumalaw, hindi niya kailangan mag-drop down. Pero ginusto niya i-kill itong si D. 9-3. Acceptance on the brink of sweeping one of the top teams dito sa group stage. FERVID, they look anything but like a top team right now, pare.
FERVID, we hype all season. May sariling tier list. Binibigyan natin ng pahiwating kasi di nag-i-improve. Si Lance lumalakas. A7J doing the right calls. All happened in 1 week na binubuhat natin yung bangko, pero grabe naman ang kanilang pagbagsak kasi kung gaano kakataas na inangat, siya din ang masakit na pagbagsak. MZ picked off sa loob nga ng Vets. FERVID, this would have been the week para mapalago yung position nyo after the huge loss against Stallions. Pero syempre, kapwa kadugo nyo pa ang tatalo sa inyo sa mapa na buong taon nyong pinapaangat at buong taon nyo rin pinapakita sa tao at sa liga. Dapat katakutan to ng iba. Acceptance, take a look at the scoreline na parang typographical error. Sneaky, no, this is absolutely real life. FERVID on defense, 2-2 split inside of A. Lance, hawak ang 2F. Nagmamatyagan na mag-HM. Ewan ko na lang talaga, Lance, kung mapilas ka pa dito. Not hitting anything. Good jump pick para sa mga players ng HM. Now Lance repositioning. And Acceptance now eyeing for an entry. Nakaangat ng tower si Ting. Here comes the nade. Mababawasan ng unti si Lance. And they pick the 2F player. Acceptance 5v3.
Grabe yung 6-man naging hitman bigla para dito sa side ng Acceptance Ting saying hi to his old teammate. Pero si Tracifer, makikita niya na nakatalikod ng tropa niya. Silent will be getting Tracifer. Ajax will be getting a 7J. At si D na lang natitira. At wala na si Kuya para tawagin. Para tumulong na sa'yo na nasa loob ng spawn. Dre on the second mid position. Heady, heck with the finish. Acceptance with a clean 2-0 sweep up against FERVID. Walang gods sa group stage, Salvatore. There is only Acceptance.
Lahat kinikilala bilang tao, tapos na ang panahon na meron tayong kinikilalang mga Diyos. Binuo ang CFS para sa sangkatauhan, hindi para sambahin ng kahit sino-sino. And Acceptance proving that there is no hierarchy. It's just pure CROSSFIRE. At grabe nga naman, FERVID with one of the most satisfying ego checks dito sa loob ng liga nga na to, and the amount, Sneaky, is just absurd. In just one season, sangkaterbang upsets nang nakikita nga natin, and I am afraid this is one of the most impressive performances para makita nga natin, enable natin to as an upset, no? Acceptance, my God, you are just out of this world. Kasi matagal na namin gusto nga talaga ipamalas kay Ajax na sirain talaga yung kisameng gawa sa salamin. And take a look right now, Acceptance. What a headliner na 2-0 na Acceptance ang FERVID.
Yun nga, man, they finally figured something out, no, in between itong week number 2 at week number 3 natin that really did power up yung team na to, man, especially Heck and Silent. These two, last week pa silang ganito, Salvi, and it kind of feels like Acceptance has figured out yung kanilang problem of being a bit more disconnected dito sa mapa natin. I feel like their comms has definitely gotten a lot better, and para naman sa FERVID, no, everything got worse para sa kanila, pare. There was no comms, and there were desperation plays all over the place, pare. And pakiramdam ko, FERVID, you're playing the wrong game dito sa mapa natin, pare. Yun nga, no, paalala lang, Acceptance yung kalaban nyo, pare. So you need to kinda, speed it up a bit, not what we saw from earlier, no. And it kinda feels like yung preparation nila ngayon was intended for another team. And Acceptance, they took full advantage of that gap, and it just seems like na-roll over lang nila dito yung FERVID, and I feel like this is definitely we can factor in, no, yung possible underestimation dito ng FERVID, dito ng Team Acceptance, and no, Acceptance at the same time, hell of a spike para sa kanila, pare, especially para dito kay Ting, man. Ting, for the past few weeks, yung time and time again nakita siya ng successful na flanks dito sa mapa natin, and especially bilang yung former 6-man dito ng FERVID. This must feel so good para sa kanya, man. Kasi considering na, ayun nga, that is kind of a statement na, bakit hindi nyo ako pinili bilang yung 5th nyo? I'm gonna prove why you should have done it.
Grabe, men, Sneaky, no? And this is the appropriate time para sabihin ng linya na tinuro nga sa atin nila Boss J-Vice and ng buong server ng RKH, no? FERVID, wala kayo ibang pwedeng idahilan. Tanggap lang. Acceptance. 2-0. My God. At talagang sa leeg ang tama dito for the side of FERVID, and I love to be proven wrong, and feeling ko ganun din naman sa ating mga ibang casters, no, that there's clearly a division between the predictions right now kasi napakahirap na nga talaga. Sino nga ba ang mananalo? Kita mo nga naman, Acceptance proving everyone wrong and proving themselves right, no? Na wala talagang mas nakakaangat dito sa Acceptance. Let us now head into the panel na feeling ko mas dumoble na nga ang kanilang gulat factor ngayon, at wala nang mas nangangitipan tao ngayon kundi si Bipolar na kasama na nga si Mochi dyan sa ating panel.
Maraming salamat sa ating mga casters, at dude, this is crazy. Oh my God, Team Acceptance. Team Status, ano sabi ko. Team Acceptance is definitely showing na wala nang Diyos dito, no? Wala nang angat, wala nang baba, lahat dito pantay-pantay lang. Being able to defeat the likes of FERVID is not in anyone's 2026 bingo card, pero here we are.
Mochi, nonetheless, no, I feel like FERVID, we shouldn't even talk about them kasi di rin naman natin sila naramdaman dun sa dalawang mapa natin na nilaro dito sa buong series, no. In the words nga dito ni Ramon, no, I'm gonna use his words here because he's actually pretty insane dito sa call out niya kanina, no. Sabi dito ni Ramon, actually di ko mahanap.
Yung ba yung 5 stages of grief? Nandun na daw sila sa 5th stage.
Yeah, sabi dito ni Ramon, no, I'll quote him exactly, no. He said that FERVID now is accepting, is in the 5 stages of grief. And luckily enough, yung pang 5th stage yun is acceptance. And what else can we say? Acceptance just played so well here to a point na talagang FERVID got clowned on. It felt like parang di nila alam na may open space na pala dito yung ating players for FERVID on the GR side, on the BL side. And you can definitely see them just getting like shocked every time. Ajax in this map, in a full TRG moment, nakita mo naman yun. Despite, heck, parang nakakuha pa rin ditong kills with the sniper, it was always Ajax giving you a lot of powers. Kasi, again, hindi naman joke yung kalaban nila ditong nag-iisang sniper right now sa buong FERVID. It's Luns. And Accept just dominated the scene from Ankara to even in sub-base. And now, looking at the stat line, Mochi, 3-10, look at Ajax, 100%! 21 kills and 6 deaths, and even Silent. I'm telling you, the OG squad of Acceptance, Silent, Heck, and Ajax, they are the threat. And I feel like the gods right now coming for FERVID, they are down. They have been defeated.
Yeah, I mean, no excuses, no? We just take it as it is na walang nagawa dito si FERVID, no, for the entirety of the series. And Acceptance is being the team na we are envisioning them as is ever since na nag-start tayo dito, no. Pointed out ko yung mga mistakes nila and they are at their best form yet, no. Sobrang linis, lahat na kokolate, everyone's having equal part of the cake, no? Lahat sila dito, no, present sa ating lobby. And I am so happy that we're seeing Team Acceptance at this look. Pero let's see, sino nga ba ang ating set MVP dito ngayon? No other than Ajax. Hindi mo na siya kakailangating hanapin pa, no, Bipolar, kasi nasa harapan mo na siya right now, being the set MVP para dito sa mapa ng Ankara.
Ba't ba natin siya hinahanap sa Eagle Eye 2.0 kung kanina pa pala siya nagpa-practice dito sa sub-base, pati na rin dito, lalo na sa Ankara. Ajax just really dominated that scene. I feel like if it was a 1v9, panalo pa rin si Ajax dun sa labanan na yun because he instantly got open picks, he got mid-round impactful kills kung saan nag-iikot yung ating mga laban, and Iba kapag naka-hold dito si Ajax sa A-side, it's also just a dominating factor. At kung ngayon titinan niyo ating buong 2 maps or 2 sets, 7 points lang ang nakuha doon ng FERVID. Meanwhile, 20 lahat yon para sa ating Acceptance. Oh my goodness. I am out of words, Mochi, just to describe the sheer powers na binigay dito ng Acceptance. Talagang they dominated every map.
I agree and I relate. And I think it's also time para i-acknowledge din natin sino nga ba ang ating match MVP dito, Bipolar, no? I'm pretty sure ito, maraming sasabihin. Kasi siya yung nasa tuktok ngayon eh. Silent! With a 1.53 KD and 96.7. Nahiya pa, hindi pa ginawang sandaan, no? Bipolar, no? Grabe. Silent, every single time na ilalagay ng obs sa kanyang perspective, imposibleng wala siyang mapapatay, which is just so nice, no? Nakikita natin silang tatlo, no, alongside with Ajax and as well as itong si Heck na talagang grabe talaga trumabaho, no? Talagang pinapakita nila kung ano yung mga na-rack up nila dito, no, from the past few matches at mukhang pinag-aralan nila na maiging galawan dito ng FERVID to the point na hindi man lang nila pinatapak pareho mapa until their 5th point.
Alam mo, Mochi, last time na nakausap natin si Silent, I believe it was the interview mula pa sa Impact. So right now, we'll after neto, looking at the highlights on how he was really just out-fragging most of the lobby, malalaman na ulit natin dito yung word si Silent. But yeah, look at this. This is one of the times hindi po siya mag-isa lang up against 2 players. He almost got 2 kills. The damage was already too insane kasi after that easy nade na lang dito sa may B-side kung saan it was given by, I think it was Dre, na inaaliyop na lang dun sa may pader para lang mapatay dito yung last na possible kill sana ni Silent on that round. But yeah, Silent, big ups to you, man, kasi talagang you really held the team together para lang makuha dito yung dalawang maps natin.
Tsaka pansin mo, majority ng mga kills niya, hindi naman nakatingin sa kanya. Hindi man lang nakatingin sa kanya, bipolar. Ibig
catches
sabihin,
them off
ganun
guard.
ka-concealed yung information about him, which is just
Yeah.
insane. And I feel like ready na itong ating interviewee para dito, no, sa ating serye. I-welcome natin dito ngayon ang ating MVP na si Silent.
Yes!
Yon! Welcome,
Ang
Boss
pogi.
Silent!
Hello po.
Oh, bayo. Freshness. Oh, fresh na fresh after that 2-0 sweep against FERVID. No? Congratulations, Silent. Pwede bang matanong, no? Anong nangyari? Parang flow state tayo kontra sa FERVID, ah.
Ano lang po, ginamit lang yung po namin yung teamwork.
Mm.
Teamwork.
Much better teamwork than before, no?
Yes po.
Go,
Okay,
bipolar.
dahil-
Sige, tapag mo na yan.
Dahil doon, Silent, no, binanggit mo naman na dito yung teamwork, no? Before kasi simula ng buong Masters after ng napag-usapan natin nung nakausap namin si Heck si Heck na beforehand. Sabi niya dito, means ang pinaka-problem lang talaga ng buong team was chemistry and as well as yung communication since tatlong OG squad or tatlong OG acceptance plus dalawang bagong pasok dito sa acceptance si Ting pati si Dre. Na-fix na ba natin chemistry rin? Kasi talagang yung teamwork nyo, not even from Ankara pati sa subbase, nakita natin nag-improve.
Yes po, nag-improve naman po konti. Ano lang talaga, salita lang po talaga lahat, tas isang galaw lang, isang comms. Opo.
Parang mas connected na rin kayo, no? Kasi talagang sabay-sabay na kayo minsan, nagpupush eh. Talagang di kayo matigil sa mga gusto nyong gawin dito, lalo na kapag blacklist side.
Yes po, maganda kasi yung mga pickups ni Ejix kasi kaya nakakapagalaw po kami.
Okay. That leads to my question. Ang dali mo kausap ngayon, Silent, kasi talagang kumokonect sa lahat ng tanong namin eh. Was the prio dito sa subbase, kasi palaging second mid si Ajax, di ba? Kahit GR side or BL side. Pati dito sa Ankara, was the plan na i-activate dito si Ajax just for you guys to have better engagement sa mga fights natin pag patapos na yung mga rounds?
Yes po. Napag-usapan po namin yan.
Expound mo, Silent. Bakit parang kailangan gumana si Ajax doon? Yun bakit kailangan maging plano pa na kumuha dito si Silent, na si Ajax kumuha ng mga kills bago pumersa ang buong acceptance?
Ano lang po, tawag yung tawag Corso. Yung parang tinatapangan lang po para
Lakas ng loob.
makapag-pickups. Oo, lakas ng loob po.
Mhm.
Okay, Mochi, and
Parang ego peak, no? Parang tama
yes
ba?
po.
Yan ang tatawag do, ego peaking, no, Silent?
Hindi
Okay.
na po natatakot.
Nakiki-curious ako, no? Kasi biro mo, first map pa lang sa BIS, parang may idea na kayo kaagad kung paano tapatan itong si FERVID. Ano yung nakita nyo sa kanilang tingin yung papabor sa inyo, sa galaw nyo? Ano yung na-exploit nyo, nakita nyo yung kahinaan nila?
Ano lang po, pag napatay yung isa nilang entry,
Mhm.
pag napatay yung isang entry, ano lang po na parang nababawasan na sila ng lakas ng loob. Ayaw nila mag-push eh.
I see.
Oo.
That's true. I see. Those are actually dahil nating substance dito, Bipolar, honestly. Do you have any more questions, Bipolar? Para dito kay Silent, sulitin natin exposure ni Silent.
Silent, alam mo kung pwede lang isang oras tayo dito, marami kaming tanong eh. Pero one more question, no, coming in from me. Sa base, last round bago kayo manalo dito, nakapagkulat pa si Lance, right? Nakita niyo yun, di ba? Nakulat kayo ni Lance dun sa may LR. Natira na lang dito si Heck. And parang may time ba na parang, baka matalo pa kami kasi parang baka mag-pop off na si Lance afterwards. Pero was it the veterancy? Was it the experience mula dito kay Heck pati sa buong acceptance? We still have this run. Kaya namin ma-close out yung subbase.
Ano po, may tiwala naman po kami kay Heck. Tsaka reported yun eh. Dalawa yung shatter nila.
So talagang alam nyo lahat, no? Lahat ng moves ng
Grabe.
FERVID, kahit na walang mamatay, kahit walang deathcam, kabisado nyo na. That's really impressive, Sarah. That's
Yeah.
amazing, man.
Grabe, grabe. Talagang pinakita nila na kabisado nila, no, kanunok-nunukan ng galawan dito ni FERVID. Talagang pinag-aralan nila, which is congrats again, Silent. And with that,
Thank
I
you
feel
po.
like deserve mo tong oras na to, no? Shoutout mo na lahat ng mga gusto mong i-shoutout at mensahihan mo na lahat ng mga supporters nyo dito sa ating league.
Shoutout po sa sa asawa ko na si Nicole Tuonan.
Oh.
Shoutout din po sa sa parents ko at saka team ko. Sana magtuloy-tuloy po para makapagpasok ng top 6.
Let's go! Hopefully, no?
Hopefully,
no, Silent.
Yes
We
po,
are
yes po.
looking forward for team acceptance finally entering dito, no, sa ating playoffs. And good luck sa inyong mga susunod na mga laban. Sobrang ganda ng postura nyo ngayon. Sobra.
Congratulations,
Thank you po.
Silent.
Thank you.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
You can also see, no, Mochi, napati na
Yeah.
rin sa faces ni Silent and the rest of acceptance that they're happy about this matchup. Kasi sinabi natin beforehand din na parang ito na yung simula ng talagang testing point for acceptance kasi these last three series nakakalaro nila, it's no joke. It's FERVID, it's STS, it's everybody na nasa top echelon ng ating Masters. So yeah, with Silent having this, Mochi, I think there's a lot more to unfold sa mga next matches.
True, no? And I just really hope na makontinue nila yung ganitong consistency. Kasi biro mo, ito na yan, you know? They already cracked the formula. It's all up to them how they will be able to carry this over sa mga susunod nila. Pero, tapos na ang ating chapter for team acceptance versus FERVID ESPORTS. And right now, ang coming up natin ngayon is gonna be the match of Atras versus Matches. This is gonna be another banger in bipolar. And right now, hindi ko na alam kung ano yung ipepredict ko because it just keeps on getting better and it just keeps on getting a lot more unpredictable as time goes by. Kaya naman, do you have any expectations dito bago tayo tumawag ng ating break?
I mean, it's big weight coming in for Atras, no? Because right now, the big question is, can they crack the reborn Warriors coming in for Matches? Because if they can't, well, Matches does have a pretty good hold para makapasok pa rin dito sa ating top 6 coming into the playoffs. But Atras, well, you have less matches than these guys. Hopefully that they're ready for a matches that is scared or at least ready to scare the opponents tulad ng Atras.
Exactly, because both of these teams, for Atras, no pressure at all, but for Matches, there is quite a lot. Kaya naman, tignan natin maya-maya ano nga ba ang kakalabasan nito. Abangan ninyo ulit, Atras versus Matches after this quick short break.